Look, we're making the new counterculture whether they want it or not. So who's going to run the non-woke answer to Newsarama or the non-autistic IGN?
Our new co-host that will be taking Richard's spot on the show is Mr. Emily Music! My next co-host, the man who will absolutely make you change. And by making you change, what I mean by that is he is going to help you change from having that story in your head to putting it on paper and putting it into people's hands. And this is the man, the myth, the legend, Daniel P. Riley of whimsyland.org.
Alcohol. A good Christian boy.
Number 1 Iron Age Booty Daddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Royce. Welcome back to A Drink with Crazy. I am buying him goat. I love goat. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's Iron Age Nights. What's going on, everybody?
What up?
Ow. Hi, chat. What's going on, everybody? Oh, my God.
Hello.
It has been a while.
They
They changed things on StreamYard since I've been gone. That was awesome.
Yeah,
It's
a
like-
couple of weeks and they switch it all up on you.
Yeah. Well, here's the
Royce
thing.
is taking a break. Get on it.
Dude, they didn't even switch it up on me. They just changed the names of everything. I was like, what the Oh, it's the same thing that I've been using. They just changed the name, you know? It's like when the chat goes and they changes their name and I'm like, who are you? And they're like, oh, I'm this person. I'm like, why did you change your Not only did you change your name, but you also changed your profile picture. Now I don't know who you are.
They do
No,
it
it's
just to
also
mess with you.
no, but it's
It's
great.
just
though, because-
streamlined for your convenience.
But it's great because you get the luxury of paying double the price for it.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
That is luxurious.
Yeah, it is very
Do
luxurious.
you feel pampered?
Yeah.
No, not really. I will say this though, like they upped their prices on StreamYard, but then also gave us the ability to stream in 1080, and I was like, all right, I can live with that. Like, you know, they gave me more functionality, so I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm not really mad about that, but also, hey everybody, what's going on? Let's say hello to the chat before we jump into this fantastic live stream. We were talking about, I literally told the guys, I was like, shut up, stop talking about stuff. This is way too funny not to talk about on stream. So we had to try to save some of the good conversations for here. Down in the chat,
No.
we've got Garham over on the one website. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say it on YouTube still, but it's Rumble. It's over on Rumble. What's
I'll
going
say
on,
it if you don't want to.
Right?
You said the R
I
word.
said it. I said the R word. Retarded? What? Never mind.
No,
Creative
Rumble.
That's
Wellspring.
where I put the Iron Age news because fuck you. That's why.
Right. Creative Wellspring, what's going on? We got Gorilla Mar, AC Pritchard, Caffeinated Wolf, Horizon Talker, Madness Comic Network, Animation Overload. What's up, dude? Oh God, Skunk's Workshop is here. Scrolling. Tim Allen is here. What's going on?
Tim Allen is here? That's crazy.
Yeah, dude. Cool, man.
Oh, man.
John A. Douglas,
The
what's going
Mead
on?
Master.
Ryan Sanchez, Maji Chan. What up, everybody? Man, it's good to see you. Liu, what's going on? What's going on, everybody?
Hi, Maji.
Oh, it's good. I got my fantastic co-host here. I got Mr. Daniel P. Riley and Evely Music. Gentlemen, what's going on?
Ahoy.
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 Hello.
Hello. It's throwing me off because Daniel's streaming over. I guess Daniel's like, no, we're gonna stream on X and we're gonna stream on Daniel's channel too. So
It's a new year.
it's a new year.
Extra live, boys. Extra
Right.
live.
Extra live.
Making shit
And
happen.
back for a second time. We've got Mr. Vaughn Coleman.
Yeah,
Like-
it was great coming on.
Yeah, the surprise indie hit of last year. That was wild. he like showed up on stream and was like, yeah, I got this new book. And I was like, wow, it looks really good. And then it was everywhere. And like a bunch of people were talking about it. I was like, whoa.
Well, I made that happen because I literally have a spreadsheet. I'm not even, let me check the number. I have 81 shows. I keep adding to it. So if it's everywhere, it's because I made sure that it was everywhere.
Nice.
How do you even have time to, don't even have time to make a book?
Well, I realized as I was working really hard on the book, I'm like, I kind of want people to read this. So that was part of it. Listen, if I could not network as much, I would love to. But it's like, okay, what I wanted everyone to get issue 1. Issue 2 is shortly along. And now I'm looking and I'm like, depending on how much 2 makes, I might have to slow down before 3. And what my hope is that people be like, wait, we want 3. We want 3, please. And, that's my hope. But, a lot of talented people go under the radar because they don't market.
That is the crux of the situation too. Like it's so interesting being a creative because half of you just like, I just want to create stuff and I just want people to enjoy it. And then also you have to be your own marketer. You're like, but I don't want to be a marketer. I just want to create stuff and have people enjoy it. They're like, yeah, but if you don't market, people won't enjoy it. You're like, yeah, but I don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's that. And then I had to learn about, because I was like, I just want to write comics and someone else draw it. And it's like, do you know what all these insert things? I'm like, no. It's like, do you know that you have to pay for the printing? Do you know that you have to pay for shipping? Do you know? And it's like, oh my God. I was like learning all this stuff. Like, what kind of paper stock do you want? I'm like, what?
Yeah. They put stocks on paper now? I thought the Supreme Court banned that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like learning all this, and I'm like, so I would love to eventually hire out people where I don't have to worry about that stuff, but that costs money, guys. And money and comics are something that eventually might happen, but for now, I'm funding the production, really, is what it goes in the printing costs. And they decided printing costs went up 15% between books 1 and 2. Isn't that fun?
Yeah. Yep. I know guys that in the middle of getting things worked out with the printer, the printing cost goes up.
It's ridiculous. Because I made the second book is less than half the size, but also half the price, right? But I was like, oh, well, surely the printing will be much cheaper. And it is. But it would have been much cheaper because because they decided to go up because they were like, "Hey, remember the quote I gave you? Here's the revised quote." Oh my God!
Oh man, that's funny. Thank you so much to Tim Allen over on Rumble for a $10 super chat over there. He says Royce needs a mead fund. Yeah, if they sold mead around me, I would probably drink it, but I don't know. I don't really.
I just want to point out that Popeye's chicken sandwich apparently endorses Phenomenova.
That's
what?
Funny.
Thank you.
Wait, what?
There's Popeye's chicken sandwiches down in the chat right now.
Thank you, Mr.
I want to
Popeye's
eat you.
chicken sandwich.
Oh god.
Cool.
So dude, it's been like watching because we spoke with you just before the launch of Phenomenova. It was just like a few weeks before, and then
barely.
Well, it was live while it was happening, but I also launched 2 other platforms since.
Yeah, and you did. And then there's pictures of you at cons.
Oh, yeah.
And then I think every creator we have talked to since, like we talked to him in the back, after the live show, and every creator we've talked to is like, oh yeah, you know Vaughn? And we're like, yeah. And we're like, how do you know Vaughn? We're just like, we're like, dude, this kid gets around.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of a hoe. No, I'm kidding. But
I mean, if that's what sells the comics, like that's what you got to do, though. Right?
Let me see who these people are that you have. These individuals.
Let's
see if I know these. Yeah, I know all these people. Yeah, wait. Yeah, no wait. Yeah, that's no. These people. They'll reach out and they'll be like, "How are you doing well?" And I'm like, because I talk to everybody.
Yeah.
That's what I do. And then, obviously, but the nervous part was, okay, people have given me the money before the book is out. What if everyone's like, man, this kid has so much potential. Oh, I don't like the book. So I was hoping. But then when people started going, I love it. Like, it's great. I want the. I'm like, yeah, let's go. So that was always the nerve-wracking thing is if you're good at marketing and then no one likes what you're selling, even if they like you, they might give you some more pity money. But, it's good because I would ask people, I'd be like, be upfront with me. If you don't like it, like, let me know. And so that's always good. You always got to get people that aren't going to kiss your ass. They're going to be like frank with you about it. Like, yeah, it doesn't work, which is what I did for years before I finally was like, okay, I think now I could pay someone to draw it. It's good enough.
Dude, it's just, it was wild. Like I said, it was kind of crazy because we've seen some books blow up, but I think yours just like you said, you went anywhere and everywhere. I don't even know how many cons you were, and not only that, you were on live streams while you were at cons, like networking too. And I was like, man, this kid's groundwork is impressive.
Thank you. Yeah, I put a lot of time into it. And
yeah, that was just wild to see. And you know, just the hustle that was there. It still is there from the sounds of it. But just that needs to be stated. The other thing that needs to be stated is you're from New Jersey. So we're gonna Google the top worst things about New Jersey.
You know, yeah, you gotta
Vaughn
gas
Coleman.
me up before you take me right down.
Oh yeah.
Hey, we got humblers. We call them humblers.
It's good. It's good. Sometimes people need to get home. But yeah, no, I would.
You're not allowed to pay attention when we sweep the leg.
Cons was fun. It's always fun. It's something I like to do anyway. But I kind of it's also now I'm looking at it from a business standpoint. And the truth is, and I say this too, going to cons and having fun honestly works and does wonders for networking, because people will be like, oh, that guy was fun to be around. Let's hang out with him again on stream. Let's hang out with him again on. That's how I started live streams. It was like I was hanging out with Anna the Star Wars girl and like a bunch of other people, and they're like, yeah, let's send him the link. He was fun in MegaCon. And that's really, and then I was like, I keep doing this.
That's freaking cool.
So that's really what it comes down to is you want to have fun with it, but also you are selling a product, you know. That's part of it too, and learning to deal with it. But again, it's all escapist and fun, right? So you're in any way, whether I'm just goofing off on a stream or I'm writing something, you're creating an escape for people. People come back from whatever they're dealing with in their personal life. And if they're tuning into your streams, they're looking for entertainment. If they're tuning for your comic, they're looking for entertainment. And that's what people really want. I think that's missing a lot. In a lot of movies and a lot of shows, that people obviously,
and a lot of live streaming.
Yeah, and a lot of live streaming too, where people turn to escape from the hardships or whatever, from personal drama. They turn expecting comfort. I think that's one of the frustrating parts of seeing so many franchises, you know, turn to things that don't give us comfort anymore, that kind of stress us out. Now I'm like, oh God, are they going to ruin the source material?
Yes.
Well, people
they are.
They want to just kind of relax and that's why I Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I was like, yeah, like I was soy facing the whole time with that movie.
Dude, I am surprised that is such a success story in modern media, because like
that first trailer.
Oh, dude, and what was so great about that too is that first trailer. I mean, that was nightmare fuel. And they were like, hey, and then the director came out, and instead of being like, no, all of you are wrong, he's like, thank you guys so much for your feedback. We are going to delay the movie for 3 months, and we're going to fix it. And then when they released it, everybody on the internet who gave the first trailer crap was like, well, they fixed it. We got to put our money where our mouths are, right? And then people came out of it going, you know, it's not the greatest thing I've ever seen, but it was a hell of a popcorn flick. I had a great time with it. And not only that, but I love it even more because we complained about it and they fixed it and it was awesome. And then they did a second one and they were like, wow, they're just listening to what we're saying to it. It's so great.
Yeah, and then not only that, the second one they had, it was mostly great, and they had a stupid wedding subplot with characters that really went anywhere. So you know what they did in the third one? They had even less human characters, and that's why it's like the future has never looked brighter. And but part of me does have the Hawkeye meme where it's like, "Don't give me hope," but it's I'm gonna ride that high.
I really think most of this, the more that I think about it, the biggest issue that I think happened to entertainment was this idea of infinite growth. Right? It's like, it's this idea that there's bigger and newer fans out there, and if we just tap these markets, and it's why you get people doing stupid stuff like all the DEI crap that they've been doing. And it's like, no, like the fans were always there. And the way to get new fans is to make the existing fans so fucking happy about something that they just won't shut up about it, and they finally get their friends into it, and that's how you do it. And instead of like juicing up the existing fan base, there was this idea of like infinite growth, that they're like, well, if we do this, we'll grow even faster than word of mouth. And it just it is showing its colors. Like, we did 10 years of it, it didn't work. There are companies out there now that are like, nope, we're going to stay true to our existing fans. We're going to try to give them what they want. We're seeing it in a lot of the gaming space right now.
Oh, God.
And that's like, but here's the thing. There's a lot of good games that came out last year, a ton of good games that came out last year. But like, if you watch certain streams and stuff, you wouldn't know that good games came out last year. But the biggest thing is there are companies, they're just small. They're not the big AAA ones, right? They're indies, they're double A's, they're these smaller companies. And it kind of like what, you know, the space that we're in here with like comics and books and all that stuff. And it's just people giving people what they want and not looking for infinite growth. I think the second that you get big money, you get investor money involved, it's over. It's done. It's not going to keep growing, because it's no longer about creating for the fans and for that community that was there. It is all about, you know, that investor return. What's up, Daniel?
Well, it's that.
Just reacting to the chat. I'm with Vincent.
I think it's that too, and it's also like, okay, if you're spending money on me, like I said, it's like if you're a backer, you're backing me because like, I'm not saying I appreciate backer feedback, but if someone gave me $1,000 and was like, yeah, now you're catering to this audience that I'm telling you, it's like, no, you're investing. No, this is where I'm creating it for this. You know, thank you for helping me further the vision. And I think people get scared because they get this, like, whether it be DEI, government money, and whatever, and they go, oh, so market to that audience. No, you're supposed to be fund the project if you believe in it. Don't fund the project so you could turn it into your project. You know?
Well, yeah, and that's the other thing too, is like
those zeros are way too enticing, man.
They are.
Well, not only that,
short term, but they're craving, and this is a problem with humans.
Not
in general
necessarily.
Right now. I think that they're craving instant gratification over long-term success. What's going on, Jay?
What's going on, Drunk 3PO?
I think, you know, one of the problems is we're in an age where we crave instant gratification over long-term success. You know, what gives you more gratification? And this is the part where I do stream a lot, but I'm aware of it's a problem. Talking about, oh my God, my first book did well. But you know what doesn't give you instant gratification? Spending hours writing. It can feel gratifying after hours. But if I post, check out this cool thing, instantly I get likes and you hit that dopamine hit. And I think that's one of the problems. And I think that's where we're going to see a lot of burnout. It's the matter of who's willing to
put in the work.
Use that, but ultimately put in the work. Because the people that are successful today may not be successful tomorrow. You know, and vice versa. You know, you got to make sure. And I think this is another thing too, is a lot of my favorite comics right here. These came out before I was born, right? A lot of these came out before I was born, and I would really read a lot of these, and I'd go, well, how do I create something that's timeless? And that's another problem with today is they're like, everything is dated. Well, if everything is dated, what you're implicitly saying is nothing is timeless. You know what? You just killed the arts with that statement. Everything is dated. So, okay.
Yeah.
Why bother?
Right.
I love that statement so much.
It's not uncommon. This is
who were
rampant in the art community.
Yeah. Who were we talking with? Was it Barron? Weren't we talking with Mike Barron about
I know that guy.
creating something timeless?
Mm-hmm.
We were talking with Mike Barron.
Yeah.
It was last IAK we did, and the idea of no, it wasn't. Who was it? We were on the topic of like modernity and creating something that would no. I was talking about it with the guys on Night's Watch. That's who it was.
Bryce is stepping out on us, folks.
Well, I mean, no.
Now he's getting his conversations mixed up. Pretty soon he's just never gonna come around. He won't call. You know.
You're a dick.
He doesn't need us anymore. We're old.
No.
Traded us in for a newer model.
You fuckers.
Past our prime.
No, we were talking about the idea of modernity, and the problem with modernity is that it only really works in very, very certain instances. And one of the few instances that like modernity can work is in like comedy, like comical movies that really satirize the times that they live in. And that's about the only time that, I mean, because you can go back and you can, Royce owes me a show. I do, Drunk 3PO. And the only time that you can really go back and say, yes, modernity worked here is in the satirization of what was happening at the time. That's why like Blazing Saddles is still hailed to this day. That's why Tropic Thunder is still hailed to this day. That's why, comedies that really took that time period and just encapsulated it. That's why, looking at things like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, a lot of things like that were so modern at the time. And just we're talking about that day, like they will live on because it's the satire, it's poking fun at the times and seeing, and people can go back and still kind of laugh at it because of the preposterousness of it. But if anything really outside of that just doesn't work, like you can't like modernity and like political messaging, obviously not going to work because the issues we deal with today might be a little bit different tomorrow, whatever. That's really not going to work, and I haven't seen it work outside of that because I was trying to think to myself, I was like, where does modernity work anywhere? And yeah, it does in satire, because that's the whole point of comedy is to make fun of the thing that makes people laugh today. And if you do it well enough, you can kind of make people laugh in the future too, because some of that stuff may still exist, and some of it be like, man, they really, you know what I mean? Like
it has to still exist and be relevant in today's society for satire jokes to actually make sense. You will find this no further than the craziness that goes on in the Iron Seas. Those youngsters watch some of these classic movies and they don't freaking get it most of the time. I love you guys, but like I watch that show and I'm like, can they not see what that was supposed to mean? Holy shit, they don't get it.
Well, it's like, what was it? It was, they do all these videos of like Gen Z looking at stuff. And,
even stuff that was like a decade ago.
Yeah, I know. And they just don't get it. They're like, wait, what?
Dude, my generation, oh my God, dude.
It's so funny. It's so funny.
And it's like everything every couple years has, like, there's stuff that comes out like 5 years ago. And like, that wouldn't be that. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
So your expiration date is 5 years?
It's kind of wild, isn't it?
It's like, dude, I have shit in my house, like food in my house that probably is going to age better than blood. And it's like, that's not good. And that's why I set my world in the future is because I was like, I wanted to do with timeless themes of heroism. I pull from comics across decades, pull from personal experience, because it's like, but ultimately it had to be, you could say all of that, it had to be good and coherent, and that's why I would keep asking everyone, and because people need to write timeless human stories that transcend things like politics, that transcends all kinds of stuff, and I think, and the trends of the day, not saying you can't popularize or go to trends, you can, but it's more complicated than people realize.
Yeah, no, and I don't think you're wrong. However, you mentioned this book that you're doing. So one thing I would like to do is I would like to check out the trailer for the new book.
All right, let's do it.
As long as StreamYard works with me, and my Windows didn't update and it readjusted everything. I hate it when it does that. It sucks.
I just want it to be like the Crusader Corps. Like my father. I thought with my new powers I could be. But I failed. I let everyone down. I got people hurt. I just wanted to make the world a better place. and instead I made things worse. But now I have the chance to make things right with the help of one of the Crusader Corps, the Phoenix section. And I will. I have to. Whatever it takes. I will find that spark again.
All right.
Dude, that hits. That's
Thank you.
really freaking good, man.
Thank you.
I love that. And I think I told you this when you did the first one. It was a kid kind of chasing after being like his dad, like strong male role models. Like, where is that? So obviously,
God forbid.
Yeah, God forbid. And obviously in this one, he's also got a strong female role model too. It's like, it's like men and women should come together to raise children. Never mind. Anyway.
Yeah.
But the fact that, like I said, and obviously the quote from Mike Barron that, you're hitting it. I mean, it's insane to see that just where you popped off from, how you've been doing. I mean, you're very, very close to funding.
Mm-hmm. I quadrupled the funding goal for this because I gave her an actual funding goal for printing and stuff this time.
That's so freaking cool, dude.
So.
And that's insane, dude. Raised in 7 days. And how far does the story go? Because we asked a lot of the inspiration from the first interview that we did with you, but how far does the story go? Do you have it planned out, or?
Oh God, yeah. I have 8 issues written and I want to keep writing. I'd love to go into the hundreds. I'd love to go forever. So this one is, I'd love to get shorter issues out faster, like the comics, I love here. I'd love to keep going for as fast as I can, as long as I can. And obviously that depends on things like money and whatever. But man, I have stories I'd love to keep telling. And this one is basically like, we're doing his kind of origin story, continuing it. We're doing his training arc. It's kind of like he screwed up in issue 1. Now, all right, rewind. All right, what did you do wrong? Let's smack some sense into you, kid. It's kind of where we're at with issue 2. But I have 8 issues for this first arc plan written. And I'd love to keep going for as long as I can. And, truthfully, I think one of the things I love about comics is that you can get more big budget idea after big budget idea and keep it, as long as you keep the momentum going, it's good. And the thing about being independent, yes, that does mean that you're not going to be able to put them out at that rate right now, right? Like if I could have all the resources Marvel with them have, great. But it does mean that I don't have to have some editor. Like my editor basically helps me with my vision, making it as good as possible, right? I don't have some editor or some corporation going, all right, that plan, we're screwing that out. We have this. This is what's trendy these days. I don't have that. So
good editor.
Right. I think that
it's not me, by the way.
No, it's not. I wouldn't be surprised. The amount of people that you edit for, it would not surprise me in the least if you were just like, I work with them too. Because I think 70% of the people we've had on stream, you edit for. And I think the only people that you haven't edited for are people who have been in, like they've been in the industry for longer than you've been alive. So those are like the only people that
well, they're the ones that came with their own editors.
Right.
Yeah. It's like I have my own editor, but I'm sure if I didn't, he would have taken me aside, like, listen. Which is good for the record. That's what I do.
Hey, let me help you.
Yeah, that's what I do, dude. Like, so, dude, I started my career off, editing. So I'd love to keep doing it.
I literally just offered to help John Buo with heroic
John?
tales too.
I offer too. If that guy chooses you over me, I will be mildly annoyed, but I'll be like, yeah, good choice. I'll be like, good choice, but also side note, like, I'll get you back for this, but
Oh God.
It's all right. I'll share.
Oh man.
go share. Big Head, you want to edit this word? I edited all the other words.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
You want to do the like still want to do the not fun part like grammar? I'll do all the cool creative stuff.
Unrelated, but I gotta ask the character design. The girl at the end, is that Phoenix Senshi? Was that her, or was that someone else?
Which one? Which one?
The midriff showing that guy.
Oh no, that was not her. No, that
okay, I
was
wasn't sure if
Hotline.
she changed
So
outfit and like time jumped or something, but
yeah,
was Blaze Fielding an influence on that?
No,
design?
actually, I'll tell you who it was. One of the variant covers for issue 1, there was the artist who did that, and I had already had a Indian chick who was the tech support character, and I was revising my scripts, and I was like, this character needs some work, and I was like, what if I made her like Hotline? Like, what if I made her hot? And I was like, hold on a second. I know
call her Hotline.
That's why I called her Hotline. Yes, I did call her Hotline. She's
Not
the
like
hotline. She's
midline.
She talks on the no. She talks on the
7 line.
Well, if you're like, hey, this is the hotline for this, right? I was like, well, she's the tech support. So, we're calling hotline. We're calling.
Oh man.
Know?
Wow.
Yeah,
okay, that's okay. Wow.
To me, it's funny you're talking about timelessness, and I saw that, and it tapped into like my mind as a kid playing those games. Like I remember Blaze Fielding, and there's traces of her in that design. But then the story itself, I'm with timeless themes, and you might have some touches of modernity or something that feels modern, even in that way. I connected to it, but the appeal to bigger heroes of the past with Galvan Knight, but then also the heroes in your life. The story starts off, and he's with his father and all of that. So it's like larger than you are, then bring it to the personal, and then he's passing that on to his brother. This is very early. If you haven't read the first book, it's really
you can read the first 10 pages free, actually. If you go to my website, you go to the digital store, globalcomics.com, you could find it in there. You could read the first 10 pages free. It touches on all the things he was saying. Basically, I would revise it over and over and over again to get it right. And the intro was, I spent more time on the first 20 pages probably of issue 1 than all the other issues, because it was like, I can't get a second chance of that first impression. And I wanted to, and eventually there's a certain point where you have to just let it go, because otherwise it'll be endlessly. But I was like, it didn't click, because I was like, I want the World War III stuff, then I want this. It was going to transition into high school and then maybe talk about the dad in issue 2. And I was like, there's something missing from this character. And it wasn't until I decided to remove the narrator at the beginning and have it be like told, basically all this world history told from the perspective of a dad telling his son about the heroes that he knew. And suddenly it becomes not just world building, but this personal story of, now it has sentimental value to the kid. And now that he loses his dad, it's like he has to hold on to his dad and the heroes. And suddenly it's not just a lore drop, it's like a personal thing. And suddenly you have a personal reason to be invested in this lore drop. And that's, I think, one of the things that when you're doing exposition, you have to make people care about it. That's why a lot of the best ways are as a reveal. Like, how many crazy lore dumps are there in Final Fantasy VII? I did a 2-hour video essay on it, right? But it's like the way they would do it is it would always be some emotional moment. Mm-hmm. Like Cloud's having an identity crisis. Suddenly something about his past reveal, and then because you're invested in him and how emotionally affects him, you allow the 50th exposition drop of the game because you care about the characters and how it affects them. And I think I always write from characters first. But get back to Hotline. Yeah, she's modeled after one of the artists in the first book, Suke Shirai, actually. I was like, is it cool? She's like, oh my God, I love that. So she loves it.
I love the design. I love the whole passing down of the inspiration from way out, and then it pulls back and it's more low, and then it keeps it's almost like Russian stacking dolls, and then the main character has a chance to try and become. So it's like you pull way back from way up here to way down here, and then I have an opportunity to eventually get here. But what is that journey going to be like? What happens along the way? And it's just a really cool setup.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I really wanted to do that. I wanted to kind of almost tap into because we have heroes, they start off with the characters being cool. I wanted to really double down on the he's growing into it to the point where even his fellow teenage heroes, Phenomenova is the name of the team. You'll meet them in issue 3. They're better than him. That he's always trying, and it's like, yeah, he has super speed, but he's kind of always 10 steps behind. And now he kind of has to realize that he's running in the wrong direction. He's got the right ideas, but he's in the wrong direction. And so this issue is a slower issue because we're getting it back so he could run the right way. Like he's got.
Well, there's been so many stories with that exact thing in it because it works. It's like, oh yeah, you thought you were hot shit. You went out, you got your teeth kicked in, and now guess what? Like, you know, it doesn't work that well. You actually have to take the time, and you can't just rely on luck, and you can't just go by the, you know. And I always love when they introduce that. Oh, one of them, was it in? I think it was in, like, Batman Beyond. You know, Terry McGinnis gets the Batsuit on for the first time, goes out, kind of does a good first mission, and then the very next one he goes out, he gets the crap kicked out of him. And Bruce Wayne's just like, yeah, you can't just do that. Like, so what you think it's the suit that makes you Batman? No. And it was like, that's one of my favorite things. It's like, yeah, you get to learn through the characters that they're not just the best thing on the planet, and you get to go on that journey with them. And that's one of the best things that I think a character can do, or a writer can do, for character growth.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's crucial. And again, I wanted to, in an age where everyone's always like trying to tear down the characters that came before, I wanted to do something different where I'm really. That's why I had my Superman-esque character. Part of it was we've seen a million of them before, so I changed it where he's literally an angelic golden knight in shining armor that he has to live up to, and it was like an impossible ideal. And that's kind of what makes it special, is when your character is always behind, there's always somewhere for him to go. There's always, and sometimes I'm like, okay, I could ease up on him a little bit, but like it kind of, he needs to get his licks in, and that's what makes it. You obviously don't want it to be like a misery fest where it's like, okay, this isn't even fun. Why am I reading this?
You don't want to subvert the expectations of the happiness of the audience and make everything miserable and why not? Why wouldn't you do that?
Well, because then at a certain point it becomes a depression fest. I'm like, why? Like one of the earlier drafts at one point, I was like, this is depressing.
It's a good way to.
Why am I writing this?
It's a good way to lose.
Thank you for fixing that.
Yeah. Well, because one of the earlier drafts, it was at a certain point, I was like an angry point in my life, and I was writing that, and it was like I got some decent stuff out, but I was like, would younger me who came up with this idea like this? And it's like, no. Then why am I writing this? Why am I doing this? And I kind of went back to the drawing board. I was like, well, what did kid me? What was he feeling? What did he want to see? And obviously I was like, okay, that idea works. That is incredibly stupid and childish. We're gonna fix that. But you know, it's kind of a mixed bag. You want to keep that childish enthusiasm, because I come up with some good ideas when I was a kid. And then some ideas that needed tweaking, and some ideas that go, yeah, that's.
We don't talk about those
ideas. You know, but that's what it is. It's always a mixed bag. Yeah.
Dude, wait, how old are you?
Yes.
22.
Do we all agree on this?
I don't know. Well, I feel like you're
21 going on 22.
I feel like you weren't drinking on the last show and now you're drinking. So I feel like you have just recently become 21 probably.
I am 25.
Oh, no shit. Okay, you're older than I thought.
My guess was 24.
Oh,
25.
My guess was also 22.
Yeah, I looked.
Must moisturize.
I looked 18 until I was 30. So, I looked 18 until I was 30, especially if I was clean shaven. So,
yeah.
I will. No. If I shave now, I look like I'm 25. I'm told. So, oh man, no, dude. That's. I mean, the good thing is that because you're like, oh, when I was younger, and I was like, okay, I want to, because I just want to gauge kind of like the life experience here. It's like, what are you working with? Like, and it's obviously the younger you are, the less life experience you have. Some people just have like innate life experience, which is just weird. Like that'd be like Jake Calta. Like, I don't know how he's as young as he is and he just has life experience. I'm like, how do you even know these things? Like, You're a baby and you're like 60 years older than me. What are you talking? It's weird. So I just wanted to gauge the life experience stuff there. And so you've got some time. So how long have you been working on this idea? Because I think that's important. Like, you know, because you were talking about not getting instant gratification in earlier, right?
Man, I mean, I've been off and on. You know, when I was in second grade, I probably came up with the initial idea.
Damn. Wait, so you're talking almost 20 years you've been
holy crap
crafting this idea.
God.
So this
Wow.
this isn't like, oh, the culture war started, I need to
Yeah.
no, this is like I have legitimately
This has been in my brain since I was a little kid.
Oh,
before I even started reading comic books, when I would watch the movies, you know, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie, the X-Men movie, I would pull from a lot of stuff, and I would keep pulling from stuff and then keep refining this idea. You know, and it would take breaks from it for a while, step back. Oh, this idea, let's combine it with this idea, let's combine it with this idea, you know, and it would keep changing form. But yeah, I would say the initial conception was second grade stuff. So I would have been 8. So,
wow. That's so yeah. So you've been working on this for almost 2 decades and now you're just now realizing it. I mean, that is a long time to keep working and pushing forward. And then obviously, you know, you grow, you know, you get out of high school, you start, so I think all of us can kind of understand where a kid comes from, like what we want to see in a superhero. What is something in your adult life that you experienced? How do I phrase that? I gotta phrase it right. So what is something from your adult life that you've experienced that has influenced the story that like may not have been there before? Like what's the biggest thing that you can think of that you're like, oh, like I would not have been able to think of that if I were younger. I had to go through this thing in order to know whether it was really good or really bad or just maybe just a period of just crazy boredom. But just like, what was that thing like in your adult life that you went through that really helped you in this book, that helped you change the book in a way that it wouldn't have had before?
That's a great question.
I know. Every so often I get one.
Man, I'm digging deep right now. I mean, I think there are always things, right? And that's the thing, the problem with having written 8 issues, but I'm not going full Christian where I'm going to just dump all my recent trauma on you guys. You know, but
don't even bring him up on this show. I don't want the curse, man.
But you know, my point is that I'm not doing that, but
I'm
think about stuff I go through. Man, I mean, well, part of what pivoted me to comics in general and this independent space was kind of seeing what they did to like Gina Carano when I was at film school was a big thing, and kind of where things are going. Because I was like, that's what they're going to do to me out in Hollywood. And it kind of made me realize that they could kind of make a demon out of anyone. I think it was also realizing that making your dreams isn't as easy. I think part of it was really just the hard work and learning realities of the world is part of it too. Where it's like, you know, I used to, when I was in second grade, I'd be like, oh, here's what I used to do. I used to be like, oh, I could make this movie. Part of why the character looks like me is I'd be like, well, I'm going to pitch this movie to a studio executive. Well, I didn't really know what that was, but my idea was I'm going to write and direct and star in this film. And it's like reality kind of kicks in. It's like, okay, you've got the heart. So maybe subconsciously it was me realizing, growing with this idea and realizing the dream is still good, but reality is going to tell you need to get smacked around a bit. You need to kind of take certain paths. You need to learn from the greats that came before you. You need to understand the history. And there are practical applications you weren't considering. It's not just having a good heart and a good idea and having passion and rushing in, you know? So I guess really life in general is not, you don't just get your ideas, get your dreams and go right away. I think that was part of it, really, when I think about it, because ultimately, yeah, I'm talking about superpowers, but I'm kind of talking about life in a way, that we think that we can get what we want like that. Like he gets his powers, his whole life is perfect. No. And I think that just comes from constantly dealing with that, right? In all avenues. Everyone, again, getting back to the idea of instant gratification, people think that the whole world is at their fingertips. They could just grab it. And it's like, it's not like that. I'm trying to think. Here's the problem, because you're telling me experiences. You know what's going to happen? As soon as this ends, I'm going to think of 10 better answers than the answer I gave you.
It's going to be awesome.
What about this one?
You could make a YouTube video out of it. You could be like, hey, so I was asked this question and I totally clammed up on the stream, but like I'm making this video now, and then you're going to make the video and then you're going to forget about it again.
I feel like you must be surrounded by good friends, because that's a prominent part of the story, at least in issue 1, the influence of the friend group of the main character, and that surely it's got to be something from your own experience, right?
Oh God, yeah. I mean, and listen, everyone has falling outs with friends, but you know what the fact of the matter is, and this is, I guess, one of the cores of it, is I would keep writing the stuff with the friends. I was like, initially was always just the one friend, Freddie, and I kept adding friends, and I was like, well, because that's more realistic to real life, and I realized that it's because really with the friends, it's like, yeah, they might not do exactly what you want you to do, but they're still there. You know, he wanted them to jump in the fight early on with the bully, and they might jump in different ways. Some of them might kind of stand by the lockers and not get involved. And it's kind of like, you know, I guess I would say how friendship kind of evolves and changes, but the real ones will stick by you. Yeah, I would say, I mean, I've had so many people in my life, things really they change. You know, friendships change. I had the friend characters were based on a few different people because, you know, that's just how life evolves. But I would say, yeah, friendships definitely played a key role. You know, I've had some great mentors in my life. They played a key role. I pull a lot from real life, but I also pull a lot from fiction. And I would say friendships. I mean, I still talk to a lot of my friends from high school. I was just with them on New Year's, and they were like, Vaughn, the book's awesome. Like, yeah. They're like, I was like drunk, and they're like, I want you to sign this. And they gave me the biggest marker I've seen. They're like,
That's awesome.
They're like, I want you to sign the trading card. I'm like, really?
Yeah,
no,
man.
Yeah. I'm like, you don't want me to wait till I'm like, you know, not like, and then, okay. I'm like, I can barely write. I did write my name, but I'm like, this is going to look really bad in the morning. And like, I don't care. But like, that means the world, you know, is
that's awesome, dude.
It's a parallel to the modernity and the timelessness. Like you said, relationships change, you know, that's kind of the modernity, but the real ones stick with you. And that's like the timelessness. And then you get moments like that. And that's really cool.
Like, how often have you been like obsessing over a movie for a period of time? And then you go, actually, it wasn't really that good. But then there's ones that you were like that are just consistently great, you know? And that's what I'm aiming for, right? Like, I don't want my books to be a flash in the pan. We're like, Phenomenal was a really good. Oh, wait. Yeah, that was so last year.
Yeah, there are those ones. I think everybody gets those, whether it's a movie or a book. And you're just like, man, this is really good. And then you go back and watch, you're like, wow, that's not good. Then there are those ones that, I will say this, though. There is another market, too. Is people go back and they're like, man, this really wasn't that good. I still love it. I don't care. Like, there is that market as well. It's like knowing your audience. It's like, yeah, the books aren't really that good. I don't care. I have a good time with it. Like, you know,
like it's the Chad meme where it's like, this sucks. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
They'll be like, like, wow, you really like that movie? It's so stupid. Okay, and
yeah. I mean, God, there's so many movies like that. There's so many movies like that.
Yeah. But ultimately, yeah, you want to create something that people can enjoy. But I think part of why people like Phenomenova is heartfelt is because I pulled from my real life experiences. I was like, people are going to say the self-insert thing anyway. Might as well pull from the heart, if you know.
Right. Yeah. I mean, in a way, I don't know. That's probably something stupid to say, but in a way, like just a book in general is an artist's self-insert. It's their perspective on the world. It's their voice, whether they're voicing another character or not. Like, I mean, just books in general are an art, or just, art in general is a self-insert. It's just what part of yourself are you inserting at that
and how are you twisting it, and how are you, it's like channeling through you. And that's why people are always like, oh, this idea has been done before with someone else. It's like, dude, I was listening to this book, The Creative Act by Rick Rubin, and basically the whole thing is everyone has someone they're channeling, but when it goes through you, it's going to come out different. Like I'm channeling a lot of Chris Claremont's X-Men. My voice is different from his because my life experiences. I don't come up with ideas the way he comes up with ideas. I'm sure everyone has their own process. You ask two different artists to draw the same thing with the same description, it's not going to look the same. It'll look similar. Yeah. And that's ultimately where you could look at every path and go, oh, like I used to go through, oh my God, there's too many paths. Sometimes you need to just close certain paths and sometimes you need to not open. But sometimes it's good to pull from a lot. It's a complicated process. But ultimately, yeah, you do want to pull from yourself and really, I would say you got to rip your heart out and let it bleed out onto the page. You do.
I can feel that, man. I feel that's one of those things just creatively with if you're doing anything, whether it's, and like I said, I did, music for a lot of years. I've been way too busy to even break the guitars out in a while. Although I'm getting them back over here. I've been reorganizing, but you do have to tap different parts of who you are in order to write, and the way I've always told it, because some people, the one thing I've always told people is like your personality is your personality, but it's like there are certain times when you can act certain ways. Mm-hmm. It's like I'm not going to act at work the way that I act here on stream. To a point with some of the guys I do, Yeah. But if I'm in a business meeting, or having a serious conversation, or if I'm having a serious conversation with my mom or talking with them, like I act like you have your parts of your personality, but you know when to show those parts off. And as a writer, it's like, well, I now have to take all of that and I literally have to put that into different parts of the book. So it's like I can't, I'm being like all of me, but like all of me in different parts of the book. Mm-hmm. It's really weird. You have to, and it's, if you're
really helps you grow your brain and kind of like almost makes you reflect. It's like, I wrote that. Mm-hmm. I don't actually think that, do I?
Right.
It'd be like writing a villain. It's like, man, we messed up this guy. Am I okay?
Right.
You have to tap into those parts of yourself. Yeah. It's really good for self-reflection.
That guy's really, really dark. Why did I
come up with him? Why did I come up with this thought process? That means I thought those thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I did have to think that if I wrote them, I thought them, But,
let's get into Peterson territory, right? Like, every man's got to have a monster deep inside, but you have to suppress it.
What the fuck?
Hedge does it better, but you know what I'm getting at.
What the hell?
You know what I'm talking about. Everybody's heard some version of that, right?
I know. It's well, that's so wild. You're talking about modernity, and it's like Jordan Peterson came out, gave a lot of life lessons, I think, to a lot of young men that didn't have it, and now he is a meme. Like just the absolute destruction that must go through that guy's mind. It's like he finally had he was finally a teacher to millions of people around the world. He was doing it, and now he's just a meme, and people do call him Kermit the Frog, and I'm just like, oh, what a sad thing, because he had some good things to say, but now it's just like, God, wow.
This is like one of those things. Is there any urge for you to at some point to include real life figures in the same way that Stan Lee was included, like in Marvel movies at some point? Is there,
like,
and if there is, like down the line, and you're like, oh, we got to have a moment where we interact with this person. I know some people write, some version of real world people into their creative works. Is there some urge to do that down the line, or?
I had a character based off my dad, and my, in issue 2, I have a character based on my uncle. So I guess I have characters that were loosely based on my friends, though I describe them, let the arts do the thing. I wouldn't send pictures. So yeah, I have characters based on people in real life. One guy was like from my high school, had an interesting personality. He was like, you should come up with someone based on me. And I'm like, okay. And then I was like, wait a minute, I know someone. So stuff like that. Yeah. I guess so. I have people kind of, again, from my personal life that I'll put in. I guess at one point I could do draw yourself in tier if I think of something. I'm sure I won't say But if you're asking specifically like Stan Lee type.
Yeah, like that's like an actual person that had that actual influence. Because I don't know if it's been
outside
done
of people in
outside
my
of those, but
personal life.
I'm just anybody that's had an influence, because I think people love those cameos when Stan Lee shows up in the Marvel movies because of what he did. I know he's tied to the property too, but surely there's people that have influenced you that are tied to Phenomena Nova on some level that down the road maybe you bring them in too, sort of thing.
Like
Or
well-known people, because I had people that were based on like my friends a bit, but like in terms of straight up cameos, I could think of something. I'm sure.
I know it's early. You're on a comic too, but it's just fun to think.
No.
Future, you know, you seem like a forward-thinking kind of guy. So
yeah, no. I mean, I think many issues ahead, and I'm like, stop. Get issue 2 out. I'm thinking of like issues 20. I have like a series outline for here's my issues, but in the 30s we're gonna be here. I'm like, all right, man. Like it was the other day. I'm like, I'm there's stuff in front of me, and I'm thinking about issue 30 right now. I'm having fun. Like sometimes if it's like, yeah, but I'm not on the clock right now. Am I having fun? Yeah, okay, I can keep writing. But sometimes I'm like, okay, nope, put it away.
That's why I asked Daniel, you've edited a lot of books. Is this advice that you tell the people you work with to lean into? Like, you know what? I know you're thinking way down the road, but lean into that. Or do you more like, no, reel it in, focus just on the book right in front of you. Let's get this book, this comic, whatever you're working, get that done first, then we'll move on? Or do you say, you know what? If you're having a dream, have that dream, take some notes, and then let's come back when you're done. What editorial advice would you
dream? Yeah, always have that dream. You don't want to stifle your creativity. It comes whatever the hell it's going to show up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and sometimes an idea I have in the 30 something will show up later. Like I have like a bunch of members of Phenomena Nova, the team, right? Do you know who's the first one that shows up? Was like the 14th one I came up with. You know why? Because I came up with her, and then as I was actually writing the scripts itself and plotting it out, I was like, this character fits right here. Why are we waiting? Let's get her here. She actually, and she can absorb, this character Estrella can absorb information around her. If we were to pull up the campaign, I could show it, but she's deaf and blind, can absorb with psychometry. Basically, she can absorb the memories of the world around her, and she can see and hear through that. And I was like, well, she's the detective character. That way she can always, great for exposition, by the way, this character. I realized as I was writing her, I was like, oh my God, this is so much easier. Also, if you get a cute chick, a hot chick to explain your exposition, does make it go down a little easier. I will say that.
Did I hear this right? You said she's deaf and blind, but she's also cute. Is that what I just heard?
Oh, she's Italian. Yeah, she's. I did
so
actually.
She can cook too. Is that what we're saying? She's good.
I was gonna say. I was leaning into. I'll say. That's probably more tasteful than I was gonna. I was gonna say that that means she has a nice ass.
I'm getting the popcorn out for this moment.
That's what good with basil.
I did have a spot in my script where I say she's walking away, and I did say to my artist, make sure she has a nice ass.
What the fuck did I walk into?
So that's there's some kind of representation box that you're like with that giant marker. You signed your comic book. You are checking some box somewhere, and people want to be mad, but they're like,
listen, you'll read it. You'll know the panel I'm talking about when you read the book.
Wow.
I don't know how to feel about it. I'll be like, she's deaf and blind, but also.
So she's not actually hot because she's deaf and blind?
Wait. Did I just walk into a chat where you guys are basically like, so basically I made Helen Keller a comic book character with a nice ass. Is that the conversation that I just walked into?
Pretty much.
When you phrase it like that.
She can sling the sauce too, apparently.
My wife's over
She's
here
deaf,
like,
she's blind, she has superpowers, but really she's a fantastic ass.
Well,
she does a lot of squats.
To be fair, I led with her powers and abilities, to be fair.
That's what I just said.
The conversation there were turns, but we'll get back on track.
Now the popcorn's out, roll with it.
Right. Well, there's not much else to say. It's like there's only so many. Like, yeah, it's nice. Like,
well, how's her personality though? Is her personality okay?
She's one of
those. That's the long line. It's nice
because she's kind of got like an ethereal presence about her because she reads the world through a way we don't see it. She literally experiences the world with a sense that we don't have. And so I wanted that to reflect in the way she talks.
With her hands.
Oh, that would have been more lore accurate. Two Italians, that would have been more lore accurate.
I
hey,
could take,
where's the window? Yeah,
I could take this way too. Nope, not gonna take those jokes. Oh man,
sounds like you want to.
Probably yes, but I don't know if they're fair for YouTube. God,
who cares?
Oh man. So Vaughn is saying she has an athletic ass. Well, I don't know.
You'll have to, you know what? I'll let you guys assess it when you get the book. You know what I mean? You could assess. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that would be. So that character is Estrella. Initially it was Lady Justice, and then there were 50 different characters named Lady Justice. And I was like, yeah. So I was looking into like what's the goddesses is Lady Justice based on, and one of the ones I kept going back. I was like the one that's honestly I settled on the one that sounded coolest, and then I built an explanation around that. But it was Estrella.
That's the right way to do it.
Which is the Greek name, but I'm like the character's still Italian, but she embraced the Greek name of the character. The Greek root. That's
freaking cool. That I like that. Well, I mean, that's back in the day, that's what people used to do, and now it's just generic. Well, who was I? I was listening to somebody one day, and they were talking about how a lot of the modern stuff that's coming out nowadays, like the reason that a lot of it's bad is because it lacks the knowledge of what those things were based off of. And so it's no longer rooted in the basis of those characters. A lot of the characters from back in the day, like Buck Rogers, things like I think Buck Rogers was specific. I gotta remember who I was listening to talk about this. It was really good. And they were like, but all of that was rooted somewhere. And now it's people rooting it in that stuff. And it's just like you're slowly every generation where something is
getting further away.
It's getting further and further away from the source material. And so like what you did is you're like, no, I looked at what these characters were based off of, and I went with that. And it's probably, I mean, if you write a fantastic character, it's probably because of that, because you actually went to the source of the mythology of a character like that. Right? Yeah. Thank God for Google.
I just look up Lady Justice, that leads to this, and then we'll look up these explain videos, and I would spend time on it just to make sure. I'm like, all right, I think I could come with a good enough explanation for the name.
I love explained videos because you end up, something pops up in your timeline, and it's just like, and it's like a 3-hour thing, and you're just like, I didn't know I was interested in that. I'm just going to listen to this person talk about this thing for an hour. It's how I
it's how the rabbit hole.
I know. Well, it's how I came across one of my favorite channels, Overly Sarcastic Productions. I will listen to them talk about just anything. I found out about Journey to the West through them. Like it was great. I love stuff like that, and it's so fun listening to that stuff because you're just like, wow, that's where all this comes from. I had no idea. Makes you sound really smart at parties.
It does. No, I mean that stuff is also, and getting to your point where it's like once you're interested in someone enough, you can listen to the things they say. Like, and that's why part of me is like, oh, this is different from issue 1. It's like ultimately they'll accept the new ideas once they've accepted you. Is kind of, well, I mean, not always, right? But like if you kind of earn enough goodwill, they're willing to take a chance on newer ideas.
Well, and it has to be a new idea that's additive to what was there before. And that's usually when people will take a chance on it. But if it's a new idea that's subtractive, then it's not. You'll find out real quick.
Oh yeah. But I try and pull from whatever I can, and then it's kind of cool because I pull from everything, and then you have to go through these sorting phases, and it's kind of like often I'll have like my bullet points of the issue, and now how do I weave it together? And sometimes you come with some of your favorite moments in the glue between, or the, and that's always fun.
Mm-hmm. Storytelling is interesting. There's a lot that goes into it. A ton of time that goes into it.
Oh yeah.
And ask Maju-chan.
Yeah, I know. No, I have. I've talked with her about it. She's getting closer. She's getting closer on the book, and
we're getting there,
dude. To hear that people are taking their ideas that they had in 2nd grade and turning them into realities, that is the American dream. To be able to have this thing in your head and you're like, I'm going to do it. That is like the American dream. That is the idea.
Thank you.
And everybody, oh, the American dream is dead. I'm like, no, it's not. It's really not.
It's not dead.
Never will be.
Never will be.
And I hate what people have turned that into now, because the American dream is all about money now. It's not about achieving a higher goal. It's all just about what's in your bank account. And that's when, the American dream's dead. And it's like, no, the American dream is about working your ass off and achieving that goal that you're looking for, you know?
Well, again, it's people they take the most surface level lesson you can learn and apply that. It's like this cynical lens they see everything through. And it's like that really there's no deeper thematic anything about the American dream. It's just about money. Like, yeah, there was money, but what was the reason behind getting the money? And that's what they don't understand.
The money happened later, though.
Yeah.
It's like, the money happened later. It's like some of the goal was to give somebody something that wasn't there before.
Right. Like I'll like what I raised on issue 1, I funneled into issue 2. It's an investment because I believe in the long-term thing. I'm not here for a quick buck. That was, and to be honest, I was going to even make a joke. Oh, it was sad to see that money. No, it wasn't sad to see that money go back into production. Not even slightly. There wasn't even a thought that went through my head. Like I couldn't even say that as a joke, because the truth of the matter is I want to create stuff like this because it's my dream. And, when I started realizing that, I'm not going to get the instant cash, I didn't go, there was never a moment where I'm like, I guess I should quit this. It was, how do I keep it going, temper my expectations? And I kind of realized this really is my dream,
Well, and that's the thing too, is you got to realize like how much you can do, how much you can do all at once. That's a big, like, tempering your expectations, right? Nobody's Superman. And we only have so many hours in the day.
Clark Kent is.
Well, Clark Kent's not.
Nobody else, though.
What?
Nobody else. What? I know.
He's not real? Next you're going to tell me Santa isn't real, and I'm not ready for that.
Don't talk about Santa.
Santa's very real.
I agree, he is.
Santa
deniers need to be stopped.
He's very disappointed in Royce right now.
Hard.
Shut up.
I feel like that would be a Superman comic where they work together, where Superman helps deliver presents.
I want to do a brutal revenge.
Practically everything has done a Santa comic or story.
Everything.
All right, here's my unique take: is we do like an angry, but like almost. You imagine a child's anger, like when someone said they didn't believe in Santa and you'd want to kill them. We do that from that perspective, but in this world, it is Santa deniers are actually the worst human beings because they are taking away from this wholesome man's legacy, and it is like the evil, vile villains of this story that they have to get revenged are the Santa deniers that are trying to put poor Santa out of business.
So you're already against them, but then on top of it, they add that.
The anti-Santa.
I mean,
then we market it to
I'm
children.
on board. I'll hear you
So
out.
we make like more Santa propaganda for children.
Oh man.
Miles is an elf. He's working lightning fast. He's running around with his lightning powers, putting together toys. Right? He's in the background. As a little.
That could be true. I mean, I guess you could put it in this universe. That idea is so goofy. I think it just needs to be. Well, no, because I think it needs to be its own universe where it's just cartoonishly like pro Santa propaganda. Like basically, that's what I want to do.
Oh, Niles! It's like give him brown hair. Throw him in there.
Niles.
God.
Well, he would have to be a Santa believer because I don't want to depict my character in a negative light.
Oh yeah, he's helping. He's on the good guy's side.
And there we go. Yeah, the good guy.
You have to. No, it's got to be like.
Nah, the good guys are the elves.
Santa's last elf, and because
the bad
nobody
guys
believes in
are
Santa
the humans
anymore.
who don't believe.
He's revenge against the people that put Santa out of business.
No, it's not that Santa's just out of business. It's that the lack of belief in Santa has sapped his power, because the power of Santa comes from the magic of the belief. Yeah. And this is the last elf that believes in him. And because of the belief that little elf has in Santa, that's the one thing that's keeping Santa alive. And the evil people who want Santa gone, they're trying to find that why is Santa not dead yet? They're trying to find, and they don't realize it's this one little elf that's just eluded them the whole time, and now he is on a quest.
He's like Rambo. He's like in the North Pole.
He's like
got
spreading
the
good word of Santa, and like if
hiding
you believe,
in a snowdrift.
If you believe, and he's like trying because he knows that eventually,
icicle
if he gets enough
clenched
people
in his
to
teeth.
believe, if you get
That
enough
would be
people,
so,
to
dude,
just
this would be
believe.
so good. I would totally make this like Bro,
The amount of ideas I've given people on this show is ridiculous.
Yeah,
Just call it The Last Elf.
The Last
The
Elf.
Last Elf. That's great.
Oh man, that's so good.
Oh.
He's just like single-handedly.
He's got like
he
a
will
wanderer's
save
cloak, and he's like
Christmas.
got a candy
whatever
cane as a
at
fucking
whatever cost.
cane. It's so good.
Oh my god,
Oh.
that's so good.
It needs to
It
be
needs to
violent
be-
or amount.
Yeah,
no,
no,
it
I
doesn't
agree.
need to be violent.
No, I think it should because I
don't
think
know.
he needs to do.
no.
He
No, it
needs
doesn't.
to be like violent revenge
Like-
on the Santa deniers. Like it
I'd
needs to
say-
be like an unhinged.
He's
like,
going
imagine,
out in
because
a
imagine an adult writing like the way I picture it is putting
Punisher
yourself in the
style.
headspace of an adult that is still like has all the maturity of a child, but he still refuses to believe Santa is, like who still believes in it. He's like, he is. Like that's the kind of perspective I want to write the story from.
perched on the
trying to
top
I'm
of the
interested.
building.
I mean,
I
I
was
was
trying
what
to
you
tell
got.
a
Sniper
wholesome
rifle.
thing, and now you got an elf licking a candy
Naughty.
cane into a scythe.
That's
That
what I
needs to be a
think,
thing. Like the elf is like, I'm surrounded. What do I do? And he's got his candy cane staff, and he's like, I can turn it into a scythe. Because we've all done it, right? You sit there and you twist the candy cane, and then it
Oh
gets
god, yeah. Get
Hey, you ever
sharp.
One lick at a time.
Dude,
Nah,
I
you do
slit
it-
my tongue
you
open
do
one
it
time with a
fun.
candy cane. I was like,
Oh crap!
Yeah,
That's
oh,
messed
really?
up.
Yeah.
Wow.
You do it
Yeah, you
fun.
can get those things.
The
Well, it's
weapons
like, how
are
sharp
all
can I make the candy cane? You
colored.
can't make a candy cane that sharp. Turns out you can make candy canes very sharp.
Royce is one of the elves sharpening on his tongue, like a popsicle stick on the pavement. You know,
What he does, he takes it. He
Candy
takes
cane
it.
shiv.
Some guys like making him an offer. He's like, listen, you can work for us. All right, we'll pay you double the rate. He goes,
So now it
he
gets
goes,
really.
and then he has it in his mouth. He goes, and he spits it out and just impales him. He's like,
So here's
thought
the-
about it.
No. You do like
it's a
an
battle scene. I got
entire
it better, I got it
battle
better.
scene.
Like, that's all, yeah, I think Daniel and I made it to the same place. He's got one candy cane in each hand, but he's got to keep him sharp. So every time he stabs a motherfucker, he's got to lick like the
gotta go-
blood. He's got to keep
Oh,
the candy cane
jeez.
sharp.
I was going even worse with it. Like you do an entire book where he's just got a candy cane in his mouth the entire time, and then like the last pages, the final dude that he has to fight, he just pulls it out of his mouth. It's all sharp from him, reducing it down, and just jabs it in the dude's eye or something.
it's like the matchstick from Cobra. It's like, what
Right,
are you doing with that the
exactly.
whole
And
movie?
then he goes,
It's like,
Exactly.
oh,
He goes, I've done it, Santa.
Oh,
I've saved
God.
Christmas.
I've saved Christmas.
all right. So you have,
like
11
every-
months to
Every
make
good
this happen.
hard.
Okay,
like,
so
shot
that's
is
not
just
the book
naughty.
that Vaughn is working
No,
on.
it's
Vaughn
not.
is working on this
Well,
other book
you know
that I'm
what?
going to drop in the chat.
I'm changing my plans, guy. All right, you're gonna have to wait
Changing
like
my
5 more years. For
Phenomena's dead. They're talking about modernity. It's cut
We're
off.
doing-
We're moving on.
we're
We
gonna
need
do the
something
last
timeless.
elf.
Santa's
Yeah,
timeless.
It's all about
The
the
last
last
elf.
elf now.
The last
The
elf.
last elf.
I gotta get it done by Christmas, boys.
I
I'll
can
get-
make that happen. We'll talk after the show.
Oh,
Well,
no.
all right. I'll see. Honestly, that would be so fun, dude.
Oh,
my
man,
God.
that would be
The
freaking
last
hilarious.
elf. Wow. Wow. There was like an extinction level event. And he's got a chip on his shoulder.
I just want an
Is
image.
there
He
of
should
Christmas
still
in
be-
the
he should still be,
post-apocalypse?
like, he should still be comically short too, though.
There's got to be.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
got to be a scene
I just
where
want
he
a
finds
panel
one of the
image.
reindeer, and he rides the reindeer into battle with a fucking candy cane.
Oh, and it's got the antlers. It's like
Yeah,
impaling people.
Yeah, but-
All I want is an image of the elf with a sniper rifle on a roof and like a snow ghillie suit, and the barrel of the sniper rifle is just candy cane.
It flies overhead. He's dropping grenades from overhead on the reindeer.
and their Christmas ornaments. He's just like ripping the top, just hucking Christmas ornaments at people. Oh.
He gets into the final boss's lair through the chimney.
The final
Right.
boss.
He sends in gingerbread cookies, but the
Easy,
gingerbread
because he's
cookies are
short.
poised.
There's like
Nah,
the
man,
footsteps on
stale-
the floor that are all
stale
dirty, and then the
gingerbread
body
ninja
at the end
star.
of the footsteps. Like,
No. Stale gingerbread ninja stars.
Oh God.
His
Oh,
laser
God.
dot sight is Rudolph's nose that he took.
he's got the
Oh,
candy
no.
cane sniper between Rudolph's ears, and so
Oh,
the
no.
nose is like the.
He's like, Rudolph, give me that red dot sight on it.
you got it, Santa.
He's like, Or they see like a red. They see a red dot.
The only thing left is the red nose. So.
By the end of this,
Rudolph
people are going to be.
carries
People are like, "What the fuck happened to Santa?" Yeah, and that's the thing. You can't tell anybody what happened to Santa. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what happened to Santa. Might not even be alive anymore. But this elf is gonna fuck a motherfucker up, man.
But Santa. It turns out like the
openly assassinating corporate types.
It's like the real. You perverted the real meaning of Christmas.
Oh God.
Naughty.
I'm naughty. Yes.
So is the reveal at the end of season 1 that Santa was behind it all along, and Santa becomes a recurring villain like Dr. Robotnik?
No.
Oh, dude, no. Oh, wait. Oh my God.
No, the elf's got to be completely delusional. Santa's like, I wish you wouldn't do this, and the elf is just insane doing this stuff.
That would be funny. He goes, I did it, Santa. You did what? I saved Christmas. What are you talking about?
Santa's like, when he turns on the news, he's like, "Oh my God,
Rudolph, no!
What did you do?"
He's like all decrepit and powered down from the lack of belief, and like he starts to feel better.
I was just taking a power nap because Christmas took the energy out of me. What did you do?
He's like slowly building his energy back.
The
And
elves are doing the same thing. They're
time.
alive.
Oh man!
And doesn't realize it's because
There's
this elf
gotta
is
be
out there murdering disbelievers.
The elf has to have a scene where he's using the candy cane sniper. He's like, "Bow down to the Santa! Bow!" He's just getting worse and worse. Yeah. By the end of it, it's got to be a candy cane
all the way.
It was an expired candy cane. If he would have just used not an expired candy cane to
oh my God, this is so
expired.
This is
unhinged.
I have so many ideas.
This is not. No, I'm like, this is. I feel like this is something funny. Like
it's funnier, but I'm starting to wonder. Once we start getting to the publishing stages, I might start having moral like. Maybe this isn't a good idea. Like, because then the kids will be like, "I hear you're doing a Christmas story." I'm like,
well,
not for you, little ones.
Oh, no.
Yes, but no. It's a Christmas story, kind of like.
I'll give it to kids that don't believe in Santa.
Right.
See that guy? That guy who's getting his guts ripped out. That's you.
This ties into like Eastern stories about Santa Claus with like, hey, if you don't make sure you put your socks away, then the gremlin will come out from under your bed and eat your face or whatever. And his name is like the Grunkle Schlunken.
Same thing, yeah.
And
it's a cautionary tale. This is what happens.
It's like the elf.
This is the American version of that.
The elf has to have like the dumbest name we can think of, like the most normal name. Like it can't be.
All right, what are some Christmassy names?
I don't know. He's got to be like an Earl or something. Just like. You know, something that's just not even, you know.
Chestnut.
All right. Oh, no.
Chestnut's going to get your ass.
Chester.
He's coming for you. Chester, watch out.
Oh, no.
Shorten the nickname to Chess, and then it gets really dark.
Oh, no.
Christian. That one's too on the nose.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. We're not doing that.
We are definitely
Klaus.
I mean, missile. You could have mistletoe. That's a whole different thing.
Oh, he has a mistletoe. That's one of his attachments.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's spelled differently, but you know,
it's just a missile with a little bit of holly hanging off of the nose of it.
An eggnog.
Launches the missile. He's like, "Here's for all you kissing whores."
Dude, no way.
Just launch it.
And to all a good night.
What the fuck happened here? We were talking about Phenomenova.
Yeah.
We're talking about timelessness.
I got way
modernity.
too into this.
I did listen. I endorse it. I'm fine with the distraction, even though I'm here to promote, because that's so good.
That's so.
Just
we'll set up a dialogue.
It's either called The Last Elf, or you go with the total. You just rip off Die Hard and you call it Elf Hard.
Elfhard.
I think that might need some workshopping.
Yeah. Probably. The Last Elf.
Oh, is that a joke? Was that a joke? Was that a Santa workshop joke?
You give each comic subtitles that are Christmas themed. So it's like The Last Elf, Jingle All the Way, The Last Elf, Deck the Halls, shit like that, and make it really
most
Deck
of
the
the way,
halls, yeah.
part of the way.
Yeah.
Yep. Make it really tongue in cheek. Chestnuts roasting.
Yeah, right.
chestnuts burning.
All right. The last elf, I'll be home for Christmas. Or I'll be home.
Yep, exactly.
Oh my god.
Or I'll be away for Christmas.
All right. Oh.
Well, now I hope I could still make Phenomenova sound cool. Now that we kind of did the greatest Christmas story of all time.
I don't know what the hell.
Logo. Just that logo right there. So,
dude, the logo. It had to be take a complex name and make it read simple. 11 letters, and he did it.
It looks so good, dude.
Yeah, I was very happy with it.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
But yeah.
So yeah, you're from Jersey.
We're back there again.
You guys have gardens there?
That's my card, dude. That's my wild card.
We might have had it like
if there's a lull in the conversation.
If we're in the garden state. There are some gardens, I'm sure, in my state.
They haven't outlawed them all yet.
Somewhere.
No, yeah.
They're not going to mostly sand and highways.
And drones, right? Drones,
oh yeah, that's
right?
Yeah, the drones I haven't seen much of, but I also haven't been leaving my house enough to be fair.
Right,
so.
It's true. So it's good advice.
Your window,
I should be
more
concerned about the drones, honestly, than I am.
It's only concerning if you touch grass.
I just love that they were like, "Do not shoot at the drones." People
and
we're
it's
gonna shoot them out of the sky.
That's
why
not a good idea.
Yeah, why not? You don't tell us what they're.
Great idea.
And now I want to shoot them more.
Don't do that. No, that's not a good idea.
Why? What are they gonna do?
Out.
They're apparently non-lethal, right?
Yeah,
what are they gonna do? Shoot me?
Yeah, they're not lethal until they fall on somebody over the highway and you cause a 70-car pileup.
Move.
Should have been in the air in the first place.
There's traffic. They're not moving fast enough. They'll just fall there. Like,
actually, shouldn't have been in the airspace of New Jersey in the first place. Is the real qualifier.
Listen, just stay out of my space if you know.
Drones, go to Delaware, you dicks.
Or just like maybe if the government could like tell us what they are. They don't. First of all, if they don't know, that is more concerning.
Yeah.
That you know what I mean? Like,
that's why you should shoot them out of the air.
That's what I mean. So I
No, do not do that.
Yeah, we're diverting from the plain plot.
No,
to be timely.
Yes,
you can squish them with your fingers like this.
Even though it doesn't take place in New Jersey, so I don't know why.
That's a
shoot them out of the air.
The elf visits New Jersey.
Oh god. And I'll be like, you know what? I'll do pro New Jersey. This state is great. Anyway.
And
then you could draw in Bon Jovi as a guest recurring Stan Lee type character.
And he'll be like writing a cease and desist, like, I don't want to be in this. Get me out of this.
I don't want to be in this.
Living on
we'll just call him
as they're shooting it
we'll
down.
Call him John Bovey.
I can't.
We'll just call him John Bovey. Then he can't complain.
There you go. John Bovey shows up as the drones are getting shot down, and he's playing the background music, and it's just perfect.
Yeah, he shoots down with his automatic guitar.
That's ridiculous.
Automatic guitar. That is
man.
Bullets flying.
Way better than a manual guitar.
So one more question that I can really think of to get back on the topic. You've got 8 stories already ready to go, or like finalizing. How many releases are you? As long as everything goes well, right? Like printing goes well and timelines go well and funding goes well. How many releases do you plan on doing like per year? You think like 2, maybe stick with 1? Like where do you think?
Let's put it this way. There's a reason I launched in January, despite it being a tough month. I'm hoping to move fast, depending on how well this campaign does. I would love to get issue 3 out by the end of the year, at least in production as early as possible. But that all depends on how well this one does. Issue 3 is going to be a big action issue. You're finally meeting the title team Phenomenova. You're meeting a bunch of villains. There's going to be more action. Issue 3 is going to be around 40 pages. The standard will be 24, but the first one was bigger. 3 is going to be bigger because so many characters get introduced, and I wanted to give my artist room to draw cool action and all the characters. So ideally, I would love to get 3 either mostly done, if not done this year. But that, again, totally depends on, how much I make. So because I'm not keeping any money myself this year. It's how much from the comic. At least that's not my plan, right? The question is, how much can we get going to keep the momentum going? I would love to guarantee you guys get issue 3 this year, but I can't because money and the economy and whatever. But I will say my artist is excited to draw it. I'm excited to get it
blaming
going.
the economy for his problems. What the fuck?
Well, it's not just that. It's I'm also it's also to be fair, I have a lot of other creators, and competition. You don't want to blame that because at the end of the day, it means get good, scrub. Is what competition means. And people are like, it's perfect. It's like, no, you could. Competition is good,
It is.
And ultimately, I will say I would love to get 2 or more out a year is my ideal goal. And then I want to keep going faster and faster and faster and faster. I would love to get 2 out. I know you had my friend Ali on. We're doing a short story collection that I would also love to crowdfund this year. So this year, I'm focusing.
Ali was great. She was hilarious.
Oh, she's great. Yeah, I told her I was like, go on Iron Age nights. They'll love you.
She's awesome.
Yeah,
that was great.
So I've been recommending your show to whoever I can.
I also felt
thank you.
So that's probably part of why
a lot of guests know me. Night. She was on the fight night. That was bad. The Jake Paul Tyson fight night. Like we had Netflix up on our phones while we were on the stream. We felt so fucking bad. She was cool with it. She was cool with it though. I think she still had a good time.
She did. No, I told her to come on your show. So she and I are doing a book together. You can go to my website, Rebel Oasis Studios. If you go to the coming soon section, you can find the links to the issue 2 campaign, but you can also find the submission form for our book that we're doing together. So if you want to submit something, go ahead. We're also taking art submissions too. So that's what we got going on. So I'd love to launch the campaign for issue 3. Fulfill issue 2, of course. I do like, fulfilling the books that people pay for. I think it's important. I don't know. I think it's important personally. But then there's the submission form for issue for the book, the short story collection. I would love to get that off the ground this year too. And
right. And I'm getting your website down in the chat right now too, so that way people can go up, sign up for the email list, get on that.
Setup costs are a big thing.
Well, no.
For business, so I'm like, that's why I'm paying that off in addition to production costs, which is why I'm like, I'd love to do more productions.
But
also, I have to make sure people are buying the book. You know what I mean? If I'm like, hey, here's this really cool book out, that's part of why I network so much, is because people need to know about the book so we can make more of them.
Not wrong.
That's the truth. So
definitely true.
As much as I love stroking my ego,
Okay.
Is it better? Like digital comics are something I've been leaning more into lately. How do those land in terms of on the creator side of things? Are they bad, or is it good? Because
as I'm learning it now, especially as I'm looking at because I didn't have them for issue 1. Digital is something I'm going to be leaning heavily into because, and I'll tell you why. Number of reasons. Well, one, I was just looking up the printing costs. I'm like, I'm spending so much money on printing, on shipping, on all these physical things, variant covers. These things are all because of physical. And I'm like, these would be so much cheaper if I was digital only. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people prefer the physical products, as evidenced by my campaign numbers.
Oh, yeah.
The digitals are way cheaper. People are buying them, but still way more people are buying the physical. That's the truth. And maybe that's just because it's my audience now. But I would love the buy-in point to be, you want the buy-in point to be as cheap as possible. And the fact of the matter is, it's not as cheap to print now as it was back in the day, especially because you can't print as many copies. The amount of copies you print plays a direct role in that. But digital doesn't matter.
What's financially better for you as a creator, though? Do you make more return on a physical copy or digital, or is it kind of a throwaway?
It depends on your pricing.
Yeah. I mean, I've had digital up for only a couple of months. So most people who bought it, so right now I've had 3 on Global Comics, because I'm having it. If you have a subscription to globalcomics.com, you could read the book on there, right? If you're paying for the site. But if you, in terms of PDF, I've sold 3 copies on there. And then on my campaign, I've sold like 10.
Uh,
So it doesn't compare to
the Hedge. He says he knows with his books, there's been a profound switch from ebooks to physical and audiobooks.
Yeah, audiobooks are huge, dude. You can listen to them while you commute.
Yeah, for novels and stuff, yes, but for comic books, it's
that's not an option.
Bit different.
They could describe the art to you in excruciating detail.
Hold on, Woo. That's not necessarily true. There, keep in mind there were channels out there. Now I don't know. There were channels out there that would do really, really well with this, but it's not in the traditional audiobook way. But if you looked at like Comics Explained or even Comic Historian and guys like that did that for a long time, and you could put on one of their videos and listen to it and know what was going on in the book and have a fun time with it. But it's not a word for word translation.
Yeah, that's more consensus oriented.
Yeah, that's why it's more different, because that's like I'd compare that closer to, say, a summary. I mean, it's not the same.
Or even just a review. Same, but there is but again, it's because comics are such a visual medium. There is a way to do it, but it's just not the audiobook way. It's done totally differently, So
Ruthless
it could even be
a perfect example of that.
Huh?
Ruthless is a perfect example of how to do that.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree.
Yeah.
Okay, so for issue 2, you have no preference from the consumer perspective in terms of whether you want physical or digital. That's up to you. I just want the book in more hands. Whatever you prefer, there's not a benefit to you one way or another. It's just the benefit is more people.
I'm going to say, because I'm still always finding my audience, I'm going to say let the free market decide for itself. I'm going to tell you guys, look, I personally prefer physical. Yes, it looks better on the campaign numbers but the truth is I'm not doing it for optics, right? I'm doing it because 10 people getting my book is great. 10 people reading it and saying, I like your book, is great. And the fact of the matter is, I'm here to sell more of it. If I have to spend, what I'm raising money for right now with this 4,000 is I'm to print a certain amount. Now that might change depending on if I end up not, regardless of, but the point is that, it shows how much demand there is. If there's not that big of a demand for the physical, then I might not have to print as much. But if there's more demand, I print more. I'm going to go with what the customers want. And right now I have both options because some people prefer digital. Newsflash, I don't expect people, when people pay international shipping, first time they had to, this time I'm like, I don't want you. I don't. Sorry, let me phrase that. Pay for your shipping.
I know what you mean.
What I mean is, if you want to pay for a digital, dude, go ahead. If I'm making it easier for the international market, go ahead.
It would be really cool if somebody could figure out, and I don't know how they would lock this down, but it would be like a one-time print file. Like if somebody would be like, if you purchase this, because let's say you want a physical thing and you have this, just a printer at home. Well, guess what? Here's your one-time print file. You click on it, you hit print.
That sounds like magic.
And then your printer will just make this. No, it's not going to be exactly, but it prints out, you go, staple it together, bam, you have the physical edition in your hand. It's just, but it would be
That's
cheaper.
already easy.
Yeah, but but that's what I'm saying. You could kind of do that.
The problem is the personal print cost on the part of the person purchasing it.
No, but again, I would argue that that is probably cheaper,
more expensive. No, it's more
expensive.
No.
It is more expensive.
No.
I'm absolutely gonna disagree.
I did the numbers on it. So to do, say, a 32-page floppy comic book in a regular printer format, you need at least 2 cartridges of black ink just for black and white.
What?
Yes.
Holy
2 cartridges. Crap. Now understand that a cartridge is roughly $15 to $25. It's because the way that personal printers are designed, the way that they print, it drains the shit out of the ink. Trust me, I looked it up because I looked
Wow.
at printing my own books, my own G-Side books, and
Oh
the
yeah, I
cost
do remember
for
that. Yeah. I
Holy
do.
crap, dude! I refuse to pay that out. That would have just tanked the whole concept. Not that the concept didn't tank to begin with, but the whole print concept would have been
I
screwed.
still don't
That's why
understand
I
why
went with
printer
somebody
ink
else.
is so damn expensive anymore.
Well, geez, you
It's
think that's
actually technically because they only fill the cartridge 3/4 of the way.
oh, and if you think that's
so you're
expensive,
paying for 4
Oh,
quarters, but
I
you're
know what
only
I know what I
getting
pay
3.
for. I know what I pay for like printer ink
But
at
yes,
work.
like Backtoss
Okay.
says in the comments, you can print from a PDF. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
But the actual cost on the individual printer, the person
So what if
doing it
there
would
were
be insane.
What if there were home printer friendly versions, not like full PDFs, but something that would print still like decent, like a modification of the file in order to work better with home printers?
At that point,
You would
it would
lose.
just
You
be
would lose
so.
pixelation.
Yeah, maybe. I don't fucking
at
It would
that
be too
point,
messy.
I'm leaving that to the experts. I'm like,
Yeah.
listen.
You would lose pixelation. Absolutely.
Is
It
there
would just
any
not transfer well?
And to be honest, people just want what's convenient.
Yeah, that's true.
Is there
And
any
that's why a lot of people prefer digital these days. You know, maybe not in the markets that we currently sell to, and I have a theory on that too. But in the general market, if you look at the big comic book companies out there, they make most of their profits off of digital because they don't have to print. And more young people prefer to look at these things on their devices than actually physically purchase them. So if you can tap into the younger market, you can make a lot more money that way, because the breakdown roughly is, I want to say $3 to $4 per book in a print. If you're using the online printing services, you can maybe negotiate with a smaller.
It depends on how many you could do. Like obviously the big companies, it's nowhere near that because they're printing them by, such insane numbers.
And if you look at on the rack, $3 to $5 is the average. Is the average for most comic books. Some can go up to 10.
Yeah.
But if $4 is the average on the cost of print, then you have to charge at least $5 in order to make any sort of profit, and that's a very minuscule profit.
I think a lot of people. I think that the cheap comic book model has probably been outdated for many years because.
And I wish it wasn't.
Keep up with the cost. Well, yeah, but it doesn't keep up with the cost. I mean, you see how
it
much
really depends. Because you think about the current generation's short attention span, the shorter digital comics coming out on a faster pace might be more. Might be. I'm saying I don't actually have the statistics on this one, so I'm just spitballing. Might be more beneficial if you could say do 32-page floppies in a digital format every single month. It might actually work in your favor if you're capable of pulling that off, but that requires a lot of financial capital to be able to do that. Plus someone working full time cranking the art out, which is difficult if you work with artists like I do.
You just gotta get one of them Japanese artists, dude. They'll get you a book every 2 weeks.
I work with a Filipino guy, and
but they also have a whole
a
company around them. It doesn't. My guy's Filipino. But it takes. It also, to be honest, if it's all about how. Again, and a lot of it really comes down to money because money relates to resources. That's the fact of the matter as I'm looking at it, and it's like we can come up with all these things about how it's really better to do periodic and whatever. It comes down to money, guys. Like that's what it comes down.
Yeah, I figured out how to make it so that I can produce a comic within 4 months, but it requires capital.
Right.
Yeah, like I have ideas for how we could move things faster. My company, again, I got to make sure there are people there ready to get it, and that's why I'm trying to get that's why issue 2 coming off the heels of issue 1 was so important. I'm building that habit. I'm building that, even if it comes out in January, because eventually I can't take a month out of the year out. Same with December. So what I'm supposed to is just not have, and that's one of the things you got to realize is ultimately, if the customers want it, they want it. You know,
I
would
want to
it mean
respond
within...
to that comment when Vaughn's done. Go ahead. Dude.
Oh, sure. I would just, you know, ultimately, if people want it, the fact of the matter is, we got a backer on stream, but 117 people have bought my book in January. That's the fact of the matter is, and this many people know that they want it. And the book's fully lettered, by the way. We're going through, like, editor is going to get feedback and stuff like that. Book's basically ready to go. This is for printing costs. This is for production costs. And there are stretch goals, because if you're helping me reach a goal, there are stretch goals. So everyone will get a hotline trading card if you back the book. Inherently, if you back the book, because you're getting it before it was cool. You get access to variant covers. These are all print exclusive things, by the way. You know, you could look at you want to look at that cover, you already can digitally. Right now, you already can just go to the campaign page. You can already look at it. You know, owning it physical is something really special.
Very much
so.
So.
This physical is something special, but some people might just want the book, and you have both options.
Well, not everybody's a collector.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, even still, it's not even just about collecting, dude. I'm sorry. I read a lot of digital stuff, but there's something about being able to pull something off your shelf when you're thinking about it versus having to go, all right, where is it? It's on this website that I'm subscribed to. Hold up. Okay.
What you want is a reader. It doesn't matter if they're a collector or not. You want a reader.
Yeah, exactly. I prefer physical
on digital. I can't. I like legitimately cannot read stuff on digital. There have been people like, dude, I'd really love you to check my stuff out. Like, you know, I'll send you the PDF, and I'm like,
and it's still not the same. Yeah.
No, it's no. I physically, I do not like it.
That's fine.
I want to take my phone. I want to set it over fucking here somewhere, and I want to pick up something, and like that's why I legitimately will not read a book or comic on digital. I have tried it a couple of times to give it a shot, and I just do not like the experience. I feel like I am just with that piece of technology in my hands. I am still way too connected to the reality that I'm in, and I just want to get. And when I pick up a book or a comic, I want to get away from that reality. And so that's what picking up. That's a great point. That's what picking up the physical thing for me. That's how I feel. It's because I still have this thing in my hands, and notifications are going off, and they're like, oh, well, you know, we'll get the tablet, and then you're still swiping, right? You're still doing the motion of doom scrolling through Twitter or whatever, you know, whatever it happens to be. Like, you're still actively engaging in a way that you would in like reality. And when you pick up a book and it's in your hands, there is a whole level of disassociation and a way to just detach yourself from the world through another physical tool, and it's paper in the hand. And that's how I feel. That's why I can't, like I said, and I've tried doing the PDF stuff before, and I just can't.
And that's why there will always be a physical option. Just there will always now be a digital option too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
So it's really, the customer is always right. You know, I might think, well,
but what happens when the customers start to fight?
Then they could deal with it themselves. Just give me money, and you guys can fight each other, and I'll just laugh. Well, no, I'll be like, I actually don't want my fans to fight.
Before we get too far away from the comment, Lord Otter's comment about feeling for the guys who publish weekly for mags like Shonen Jump. Yes, you should, because they work those people to death, but they also plan 3 to 6 months ahead.
Oh yeah. Yeah, those monthly books are done way before.
There's at least 10 issues done before an issue actually comes out.
Sometimes.
He referenced Shonen Jump. Yeah. Shonen Jump being one of the major companies. They do the 6 month ahead thing.
Yeah, no, and they have to. And the problem is like, because it's definitely different. It's not, but those guys it is 18 hours a day, pen to the paper, period. Just have a nice day. 18 hours a day, pen to the paper, nonstop. Let's go. You're talking people who can do 14 pages in 7 days. Bam, done. And it is fucking. But the other side of it too is the Japanese work culture is radically different than anything in the West.
And their suicide rate is awful.
Oh, I know it is.
Worst in the world, right?
They actually like the what do they call it? It's like the 9 to 9. Like yes, they technically only have 8-hour work days, But in Japanese culture, I was watching some stream somewhere, one of those random pieces of information that you get, and they were saying that like, but nobody wants to be that person who's lazy. So even though yes, you work a 9 to 5, you're not going to be the first person to leave, and the only time that you leave is if the boss leaves. So if the boss doesn't leave until midnight, guess what? You don't leave till midnight either, because you're not going to be the lazy, disrespectful one in the culture. And it is, I mean.
Have you heard of the Army's 5-minute rule?
No.
Where the workday ends 5 minutes after the boss leaves?
Oh, I have heard that. Yes, I've heard that in passing before.
The same thing applies to the Japanese, except for the boss doesn't leave.
Yeah.
I know in construction, if there's time to sit, there's time to work.
Yeah, pretty close.
I've told that to a bunch of people.
That's correct, Otter. Yeah.
My
Yoshiro Togashi was just working all day long, every single day on Yu Yu Hakusho.
He also Yu Yu Hakusho. He also did Hunter x Hunter. Isn't he the guy who did Hunter Hunter?
Pretty sure, yeah.
And he actually has severe like he can't even, because he was hunched over, his back is so bad right now, I believe like he has medical issues to the point where he actually has to like lay face down in one of those one of those beds for his, like it's bad, dude. Like
that sounds bad.
Like he has now gotten to a point where Hunter x Hunter is releasing again, but he took a break he had to. He didn't have a choice. I think he was looking at like some ridiculous like full spinal replacement surgery or something.
Oh my gosh!
So it's something crazy. Like it was
Bud
something.
Needs a brand new spine.
Yeah, dude, something so absolutely insane that when I heard it, I was like, I have never heard of this thing before in my life.
Yep.
And
that's why the mortality rate's so high, especially
it's
among mangaka.
Oh yeah, the mangakas are like and then you saw it with who's the studio? I think they did come on brain function. It's the one with Gojo and shit. Jujutsu Kaisen. It's the animation studio that did Jujutsu Kaisen. Man, they worked those people to death, and they were getting to a point where those guys were asking for more time, and they were like, nope, your deadline is, and they were turning out the best animation in the industry, 1 episode a week. Have a nice day.
Yep.
7 days
really puts into perspective the independent creators work ethic. You've got these guys over in Japan that put all this stuff together, and they just work them to the bone. And then you've got the indie guys who are like, yeah, I'll put 1 comic out in a year.
Well, and it's the thing is the difference is, I guess, that we're doing the jobs of so many other people. I wish I could.
Well, the difference is you have a mindset of health and a mindset of some sort of a lifestyle, because you have to have a balance, right? I was raised to believe everything in moderation.
Great.
Yeah, I work on it. My mom yelled at me to stop working.
If you're dead, you can't help people.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you're dead, you can't work on your book.
What if you're like a really awesome ghost? Like Casper?
Yeah.
Like
now we're talking.
Nice try, Daniel. Nice try.
Yeah.
If I show up
one night, there's a story. There's a story.
Right? There you know.
A creator
works himself to death.
And then
and
what he does,
keeps writing from the grave.
No,
there was a show
somebody
like that
moves into his house.
I think it was called Ghost Rider.
An artist moves into his house.
It was a PBS TV show. Yeah,
an artist moves into the dude's house and finds this guy's unfinished work and goes, "Oh my god, this is incredible!" And the guy who worked himself to death. And this one dude picks up and he's just like, oh, I really like this guy's unfinished work. I'm going to keep working on it. And now the ghost haunts the artist and forces him to keep working on the book. And basically the curse is that ghost haunts the next artist of the unfinished work to try to finish it.
And I'm biased because I love
continues the cycle.
It just continues the cycle. There you go. There we
go. Look at this.
The haunted story.
Incredible.
The readers should never know what the story is.
Well, no. That's irrelevant. It could be like a hentai.
No.
The fuck is this? The
Left
greatest hentai you've ever never
What's happening?
Read. What?
What?
The greatest hentai you've never seen.
I feel like
How
was
do we
it
know
Liberty
it's
Lady?
great then?
Because
Can't-
it has
can't see.
tentacles.
Just
That's
trust
why.
me, bro.
Just try. Right? That's not a good thing. Bro, you got to watch it. I don't want to
Sound
watch it.
logic, really.
Yeah.
Sound.
Just trust me, bro, got a lot of people to see things on the internet many years ago that should never have been seen.
Yeah, I think people have learned their lessons too.
Yeah.
What if you end it with a question mark? Then is it better? Just trust me, bro.
Just trust, bro. Right?
trust-
Just
bro.
trust me, bro.
Trust me.
Bro. No,
What has been seen cannot be unseen.
Oh God, I don't know how to fuck to segue about that. That's just.
There it is.
You remember Segways? They used to be a thing. They
They
kind of
used to
died
be.
off though.
Did they?
People
You
just
see me
don't-
rolling.
They were in the
Yeah.
fucking Iron Man movie, dude.
They
See?
roll in their
See?
eyes because I'm
They were
so white and
popular.
nerdy.
That's
Oh,
right.
God.
Also that. Not that anybody has the lyrics memorized and is reciting them.
I think I'm just too white and nerdy.
I hate everything.
That's
I
how you
will roll
segue into a
on
segue. You
my
talk
segue.
about the literal segue in the history of it. Now it used to be.
Incredible.
It
Well,
was
well, can you use
relevant
that
enough.
again though? You've used it.
This actually ties right back into the original part of this conversation. We were
Mm-hmm.
talking about modernity, timelessness.
Yeah.
Modernity
segue.
can suck ass. Go
The
with
segue-
timelessness.
At a certain point, it was a modern.
Everything is connected.
That's
all-
right. There you go. It's like a circle, like the wheels of a
all
segue.
circle
Go ahead,
jerk.
Royce. Take
It's
it
all
away
circle
from there.
jerk. It's just what the fuck. I don't know how
The
to think about it.
circle of
But yeah,
shit.
that's why you should back Phenomenova, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right. That's so
Because it's
true.
part
That's
of
such
the
a good
circle.
point.
There's
Well,
so
it's because
eloquent.
it's vaguely
Well
related
said.
to something
Well
we've
thought out.
talked about in the last 20
There's-
minutes.
yeah.
I'm sure there's
some-
one thing that's also in Phenomenova
guy.
issue too.
All right.
That's
Yeah,
why he's selling
If
books.
not,
Brings it all around.
oh well.
So he's selling books.
You should back
Uh,
Phenomenova because it's part of the circle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just
sure.
Jesus. That's
But just be careful. If you buy a copy, you
But-
might crash your car. I
this
just
is-
got to throw it out
yeah.
there. You might
Thi-
end
this
up in a
is-
Just
car
had to
accident.
go
And if you
there,
do
then-
that, it's entirely
Thi-
your fault.
Yeah.
And I
Vaughn,
had
this is
nothing
the
to do with
worst
it.
marketing you
I
wish
don't
you
believe
couldn't
the bad
afford.
sauce hype.
You know how there's marketing you wish
Yeah,
you
so-
could afford? This is marketing you wish you couldn't afford.
Mhm.
This
Is
is
that right?
marketing you get
So,
whether
bad
you want it
sauce-
or not.
The fake news media, aka Bad Sauce, has been spreading misinformation about me online. Ridiculous
Probably.
misinformation.
He does that.
I'm not sure if
Absolutely.
you know this, but
Mhm.
so this absolute imbecile, you know,
Get him.
he so well, all right. First of all, he made the smartest decision of his life, and he backed Phenomenova, which is genius, incredible. Best thing.
Absolutely.
Throwing
Now,
haymakers.
no, I'm complimenting his great decision.
The popcorn's
to
back out,
to,
bro.
to give
Let's
me
go.
money for my product, of course. Now, and then after that happens, my understanding of the story, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Bad Sauce, is that he got it out of the mail, and then he got hit by a car, and or no, his car got hit by a car. I meant to say, and he is like, well, that's Vaughn's fault, because he bought the book. And then his car got hit, and he goes, well, it's a setup. Well, no, Bad Sauce. Now, there was also Professor Savage Dad did start having car trouble soon after he got his book. But again, that's pure coincidence. And yes, the trading card artist for the Day One trading card did also get in a car accident shortly before issue 2 launched. But again, that's pure coincidence.
There's no curse
Are
involved.
you cutting brake lines?
You know,
What the fuck are
my
you doing?
wife, she needed new windshield wipers, actually.
What
There
the
you
fuck?
After I backed
Car
Phenomenova
trouble.
2.
All right, that is
Curses.
all right, listen. That is total coincidence. Okay.
This is great marketing. I don't know what you're doing.
Well,
But
not
it's
if people
brilliant.
are like, if I buy this book, will I have car trouble?
And you go, maybe.
Von
Back
and
Coleman
find out.
contracting with
You
evil
find out.
spirits.
And it's
Find
tell me
out.
about
You
it.
have to find out.
Might have a ground one
I
on
will
the
say
airplane wing.
statistically, most backers have no car problem.
Statistically.
Statistically.
Anytime you have to be like, yeah, statistically you'll be all right. People are like,
Now you need somebody really famous to say that, so you can put that quote on different web
Are you
pages.
sure about
and-
that?
Statistics, but I give no context, so people
That's
will be
such a
discovering
great-
my book for the first time. Like, statistically, you don't get car problems.
dude,
if you
that
back
would be
this
such
book.
a
Like,
great
well, why-
poster.
Why would I think that?
That would be
Now
such a
I'm
great
thinking about it.
poster. It'd be like, statistically, most backers are okay.
Yeah.
And people be like,
7 out of
"What?"
10 backers do not have car trouble when they
Right? No.
phenomenal.
And they'd be like, "What does that have to do with this like coming of age superhero
Mhm.
book? Like, what is car trouble?" And then they
And they're
start
gonna
looking
see a
into the
pile
lore.
up on the New Jersey Turnpike, and at the front of it, there's a fucking Phenomenova just laying there.
I'm just
And
sitting
people
on
are
the
like,
car
"What the
pile.
fuck
Like,
you-"
yeah.
Given there's always a pile up on the New Jersey Turnpike, yeah.
Well, let the
tracks.
record show
But
that nobody from
statistically
the state of New
speaking,
Jersey
like the
has had car
Phenomenova is
trouble.
not in every pile up on the New
And
Jersey
it's only
Turnpike.
because there
Yeah.
are nothing but turnpikes in New Jersey.
Right, and there have been no car accidents in New Jersey because of Phenomena. Well, there have been none because of Phenomenova in general. Let me clear that for the record. But
Lies
no
and
alleged car accidents in New Jersey.
There you go. That's better.
The fuck just happened?
Wait,
Did you
Matt,
just
how
threaten-
long ago did this happen?
I can't tell if the last 5 minutes have been Vaughn threatening
There
people.
were never
It's
No.
like,
It's me.
I don't know.
car
I am-
accidents because of Phenomenova,
there have been none.
sir.
I have no car. He bagged it. See, Tim Allen has nothing to worry about. Not that anyone who has a car has anything to worry about.
That sounded like a threat too.
Just
Tim
don't-
Allen, you got nothing
yeah,
to worry about.
nothing to
No,
worry
you
about.
don't.
Nothing.
No, you do not
Don't
have
worry,
to
Tim
worry
Allen.
about
Take
it.
the just don't take Phenomenova in the car with you. That
Yep.
would
No, you can take it with you.
I would. I don't know, man.
It's totally
I'm
safe
like,
for
I don't-
car travels.
I don't think it is.
Branding.
Like,
You're probably
kinda-
fine. You travel with
well,
it if you want. I don't know.
no, it's fine. Just
If
know,
you take
avoid
it out of your
just
house, I
avoid
can't guarantee your
windy,
safety.
mountainous roads or flat, not mountainous road. Just
May
just
not be
avoid
safe on winding roads or icy roads
yeah,
or roads of any condition.
yeah. Just don't like. I'm kind of concerned right now.
Listen, man, the only way to
And
put your
kinda-
concerns to rest and your curiosity to rest is to back Phenomenova issue 2.
Right.
Yeah,
Down to the
just
And
core.
find out for
Back
yourself.
Yeah, find out for
Phenomenova to
yourself.
find out if it causes car crashing.
Yeah, there's only one way to be sure. Because bad sauce.
There's only one way to be sure. Fuck.
I mean,
Report your
look at him. Like,
incidents to
who do you trust more?
WeDon'tCare.com.
Who do you trust more, me or bad sauce? Like, come on, guys. Like, you met this man.
Yeah.
Can he be trusted?
I choose
Can you
death.
trust the short bus?
I choose
Yeah, exactly.
death. I-
There we go.
Just
Well-
trust that short bus. That's got a good ring to it. I like that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So again,
Wordsmith.
bad sauce. Hang on, did I just get a new backer because of that? No, I didn't. Okay.
that would have been fucking hilarious. Oh,
Well, it's
man.
okay. You know, people again, like best way to know is to back it. I will say that there has only been a few, well, okay, there have been too many, like a concerning amount. Like it is really weird because it was just back to back.
As
like-
your imaginary lawyer, I suggest you shut up right now.
You should really. I don't know what you're doing, dude. But
Starting
I'm
to buy into the hype. He's like, wait a minute.
While
does
you're
it-
ahead.
I
does
don't.
this?
I don't think we should
Admit
be
to
selling this
nothing.
book to people. Like, is
Should be somebody in California like this fire didn't exist, and then I backed this comic.
All right, that's
Oh my
ridiculous.
That is
You could-
specious, and I will sue.
Yeah, that's like bad. Like, have you seen those memes where it's like
Look,
It's
if
like
you can. if you
gun
can prove
violence
it didn't
before
cost-
guns, gun violence after guns, and it's like, well, yeah.
Yeah.
car accidents before Phenomenova? Car accidents after?
Yeah,
The,
it's like-
the only question you have to ask yourself is, did
Oh
you
yeah, that's
die?
actually a good question. All right, statistically, there were more car accidents before Phenomenova came out than after
There you go.
Phenomenova came out.
There you go.
But
So-
did
All for
you
your
die?
success.
But did you die?
Yeah, exactly. Did you live to? Did you like the book? Bad Sauce liked the book, so that's all that matters.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
Was it
so
worth?
car
Was it
trouble
worth
is
the
no
price
peace.
of a car? I would say yes because it's priceless.
Was it worth your cost?
It's only $30,000. Fuck
Listen,
that.
I got I got his book, so maybe that'll help with the card show.
Hey, there you go.
It's like $8, some shit that'll help with the card show.
Well played, sir. Well
I'm not
played.
saying how much it will help.
Oh man!
Buy 1/2 of one lug nut for that tire.
There you go.
But every little bit helps.
Every bit helps, you know. If
That's
we
right.
well, all right, you know what I'll say to so that way you can stop whining about me. If you guys want to, buy his Dunks Whisperer book, you should. After you back
What a bitch.
After you back
Right.
after you
Phenomenova.
back Phenomenova issue 2, of course.
So you
But
give
then
your money to him first, and then you can spend it on bat sauce.
Yeah, buy whatever you want with your money. I don't care. There you
Tell you
go.
what,
There
if
you go.
Phenomenova makes
Just
$25,000,
make it worse.
I will Venmo him $5.
I will buy another $8.
What a guy! Charitable too.
Yeah.
Talented,
Better
creative,
than that. Better than that.
persistent.
I will
He's
give
just
him $5
charitable.
and another copy of
I
Phenomenova.
my brain, I was like, in my head, like the Venmo $5 thing was really funny. In my head, I thought you were like, if it makes $25,000, I will send him a car freshener for his new car.
That would be
$5. I mean, he can
A
figure it
big
out.
gold
Even
box with
better.
a car freshener in it.
that'd be even better. Oh my god. Thinking
Listen.
of you, and then I know it's saying thinking of
Thinking
you.
of you.
0 cars Rex from Dunce Whisperer.
Thanks for your support.
Oh my goodness.
That's the new level of marketing is just like the creator starts trolling their fucking supporters.
Yep.
Well, it's not an uncommon strategy.
So no. It would probably work though. I bet there is a field of fucking some sort of something that somebody sells that works. Jeez. Oh man.
Yes, Tim Allen, mead scented car freshener.
Incredible.
I had one mead in my life and it was disgusting.
I don't know if I've had mead.
It was a
That's
homemade
because
mead.
you're a Philistine, Royce.
No, it was a
That's right.
homemade mead and it literally tastes like drinking sugar. It was gross. But somebody
sounds
else told
good,
me
though.
that I gotta try. Yeah, I
It's
don't know.
made from honey.
That
It's
sounds
like,
good.
oh, it tasted
sounds
like
good.
sugar and fairy kisses in a summer sun. It was terrible. I hated it.
Sounds
It-
awesome.
It tasted like
Honey beer?
sugar. It's
Good.
awful.
It's awful. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, before we call it for the evening, I told everybody in the Discord I have an announcement for the night. Some people already kind of guessed it, others did not. But no. So basically, the announcement is that I'm actually going to be stepping away from the live streams. I have been way too inundated on my time. And over the holiday season, it was not something that I planned for, but I was like, all right, gonna step back. And I realized that I have missed a lot of time with my wife. I've missed a lot of time with my kids. I have put a lot of my videos that I wanted to do on YouTube on the back burner. There are so many weeks out there where I wouldn't even produce because between having 4 kids and all that, and then attempting to spend any sort of time, I put a lot of my life on the back burner for it. And over the holiday season, I realized I was like, I can't sustain this. And with the live streams, the goal to push out the channel and to grow the channel, to bring more people to independent creators, I was failing in all of those regards. And so I was like, well, what do I do? And so I talked with Daniel and Evely about it. And what was really cool is I figured they'd be like, fuck you. You're just a liar. We don't love you
You
anymore.
bastard. How dare you
Instead,
not love us anymore?
Daniel was super cool about it. And Daniel was like, so what we'll do is I'm actually going to hand this channel off to Daniel. It'll probably get rebranded to like an Iron Age Nights channel. And Daniel is going to take over Iron Age Nights. As far as Comic Shop Wednesday is concerned, right now that's going to be on hiatus. I'm not going to be gone forever, but I'll probably pop in once in a while. But I am going to make sure that I get everything reevaluated, spend time with the wife and kids, hopefully, continue working on YouTube. Maybe I figure something out. Maybe one of these days I actually learn YouTube and that becomes the job, and then I can make that the job. And then guess what? I just have time for streaming, because there's this thing that really gets in the way of all of this, and it's called my day job, where I have 11 hours of my day just dedicated to it. And this was not something that was really in the cards up until just recently, when I was like, wow, I did not realize how much I had on my plate until and how, that where people are like, oh, I'm juggling so many things at the same time. And guess what? I was dropping those things. And instead of stepping back and realizing, wow, I'm failing in so many different areas, and not wanting to let any of those go, I realized, wow, I actually do need to let go of some things, and I do need to step back. I need to reevaluate. I need to get that time back with my wife and kids, because I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm going to have a teenager here in a little less than a month, a little more than a month, and that's something I don't want to put a lot of that on the back burner. I've missed movie nights. I have missed barbecues at friends' house in the summertime. There's a lot that I have done that I've missed out on. And on top of that, like I said, I've also pushed back my own video creation and my own stuff on YouTube, and learning and researching and sleep in some cases. And the stress not being there the goat was a bridge too far. Right. No. That being said, like I said, I'm not going away forever, but I'm probably going to disappear until I get some things reevaluated and get it figured out. And until then, Daniel is going to be taking over Iron Age Nights. And like I said, I don't know if anybody takes over Comic Shop Wednesday, but if you guys have, a good host in mind to do Comic Shop
As an
Wednesday,
alternative.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be really cool. But yeah, it's kind of a big announcement. Like I said, it's not something that I really thought about until I stepped back and I had a moment to evaluate. Because as you guys know, I very rarely give myself ever time to just sit down and look at everything. So yeah, I can't believe Royce made Vaughn quit. I didn't make Vaughn quit.
No, he's saying that I made you quit. They're putting it on me. This is more bad sauce propaganda.
Yeah. Well, so here's the thing. What you don't know, Vaughn he's just going to do all of the live streams now. It's
all Vaughn.
They're like, Vaughn, you're hired to do all the work.
Yeah. No. So, no, like I said, it wasn't really, one of the busiest times of my life, and I don't actually know how I got through it. I know, basically I stopped producing YouTube videos during that time period, but when we were getting ready for the barbecue this last summer, I think 3 months leading up to that, I was building a barbecuer to get all that ready. I was still doing 3 to 4 live streams a week. I was still attempting to do videos. Then we had events on the weekends. There were birthday parties for friends of ours. Like, we have friends, they have kids. There was kids' birthday parties. There was all this stuff going on in life. And when the barbecue ended, I got through all that. I was like, how the fuck did I manage all that? And the fact of the matter is I actually went back and I started kind of looking at things. I didn't. I actually let the YouTube channel almost die at that point in time, because I thought I was balancing everything and I wasn't. And I had to step back and take that. I'd have been the one that did. I figured if Royce crashed out, I'd have been the one that did it. Yeah, no, you didn't do it. And like I said, I'm not crashed out. I just don't, my time management skills are not there. And it's kind of nice to have a movie night with the family. We've had several. It's kind of nice to sit back and hang out with my wife, and she and I watch movies or play games together. And it's also nice to have time to sit down, read articles, prep videos, dedicate time to that, because that is the craft that I really love. I love having those conversations with people and doing that. And I was failing in all those regards. So I need to take a step back for a while. Like I said, I'll be back. I'll be around it. The Discord's not shutting down. My wife and I actually talked about it. And even on like the weekends, we were thinking maybe we'll just open up the voice chat while we're gaming on the weekends, and we'll voice chat and hang out with everybody in Discord, because that's a lot less production, and it's a lot less scheduled, and we don't have to schedule around it. So I'm not going in. I'm not going anywhere in videos or the Discord. I will pop into the live streams when I can. I'm not, dude. I haven't even streamed with Shad in a few weeks because of all this. Like, I'm not even going over to Night's Watch. Like, when I say, but like I said, this channel here that you guys are watching right now is getting handed over to Daniel. I'm going to do the ownership transfer and all that through YouTube. There's a way to do it. I just have to figure it out. And so Daniel will be able to go live over here, keep Iron Age Nights going. And obviously, if they need help with anything, I'm still going to be here to help out, because I have time that I can dedicate to that stuff now, because I'm not, preparing all the streams and stuff. So, and streaming 4 times a week like I was. At one point in time, I think there were a few times in the last few years where I had 7 streams a week, and I was producing multiple videos at a time. I legitimately didn't see my wife and kids for multiple weeks there. And
it's a lot of work, dude.
It is. Well, and it's not even so much the work, it's the time investment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Takes a lot.
It's the time. It's not that I yes, I can do the work, but what am I sacrificing to do it? What am I taking time from to do it? And that really hit me and really made me reevaluate, like, wow, I'm going to have a teenager in a few weeks here, and I don't want to miss a lot of that. So I need to reevaluate how I can best be there for my family, how I can best continue with like the videos and stuff that I want to do, and how I can best jump it on the live streams. And if I can figure out that time management to where I can properly balance, I just said earlier, everything in moderation, right? That has been something that has been on, and I have not been moderating at all. So that's the big announcement. That's the big thing. Yeah, you're getting rid of me partially, but not entirely. And Vaughn, sorry, it had to be on your stream.
It's okay. No, listen, I'm ready for to be blamed for this for all eternity. No, but I mean, I'm just hearing you say it. I mean, obviously this is all good. I've been there. I mean, not with the 4 kids thing, but I'm like, man, how you were able to keep it up for so long? And I get it. This stuff all leads in you. Take all the time you need, man. Like, we all love you, but we also don't want you to be like destroying your life.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that's the other side of it too, is like, and again, if the dream happens and I turn this into the day job, well, guess what? I got 11 hours of my fucking day back every day. I have at least, 55 hours a week. There's 168 hours in a week, by the way. If you guys ever want to wonder how much time,
that's true.
So this means this channel is going to blow up. No, probably not. What's up, Daniel?
May I step in at this point?
Yeah, do it. Okay. It's your channel now. I just have to do the ownership thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Then we gotta get that all figured out.
Here's how it's going to work out at this point. IAK is going to actually go to a monthly show going forward. I would like to take the opportunity to really research the people that we have on, prepare in order to have a more in-depth conversation, and not that we didn't obviously tonight, but I want to give Justin and I an opportunity, and whoever we end up with as the third more permanent-ish co-host, Royce will have an open opportunity to come on anytime he wants to join in the shenanigans, of course, but the IAK podcast will be going to a monthly format, so it's only going to be 12 shows a year. That way, if Royce has an opportunity to be on each month, he can come on. If not, we'll have alternatives coming out. In lieu of that, I've started, and I'm trying to be wholly dedicated to doing this, the Iron Age News, which currently is on my Twix account at Mr. DP Riley and on Rumble, because fuck YouTube. And yeah, I don't care saying it because it's still Royce's channel at the moment. But the Iron Age News, there is a link for you to submit your upcoming project, whatever it is that you have in the pipeline, and then I can start shouting it out ahead of time, and I can start showing it to the world ahead of time. And so that is a daily thing. It's about 10 minutes right now. It may go longer as more stuff comes in, but every day I'll be on a recorded video of some sort telling people about your upcoming projects. So if you have something coming up, check out those videos on Rumble or on Twix and hit that submit link, put that information in there. I'm a little drunk, so I may be stumbling over my words. The IAK shows I will still be drinking through, so as the night progresses, it'll get more and more interesting, I'm sure. But what I really, really want to hammer in here is that the format of IAK, the interview process, will not change. It's just going to slow down a little bit because we all have lives. And I would rather be able to do a monthly show that really gets to focus in on the story of the creator and the meat of what they do, and still play with the shenanigans while we have the opportunity without overloading us, as poor Royce has unfortunately experienced.
Yeah, and you don't realize it until you kind of stop for a second and you look and you go, wait a minute. Wait, what? Yeah, I didn't realize that I was dropping plates until I looked back to see the floor behind me, and I was like, oh, that's a mess. Oh, I did that? Oh, wow, that thing that I thought that was success was not actually success. Oh, that's not good. How do I turn that ship around?
Yep.
So, yeah, the moments of self-realization when you just go, oh.
And I think the slower format also gives us, Justin and I, you, if you're going to be involved or not, completely your choice. I totally respect your decision, but it gives Justin and I and whoever else we end up having on as host an opportunity to spend an entire month building up this particular event. We've got 3 weeks before the event actually happens to build up and get the word out and try to get as many people into the channel as possible to watch and experience whatever the interviewed creator has. So I'm thinking if we slow down a little bit, we can actually be a bit more powerful. So I want to try that. We'll see what happens. Maybe it goes to a 2-week format. Who knows? But for now, that's the plan.
Awesome, man. Well, with all of that being said, Mr. Vaughn
IAK
Coleman
never dies.
One last time, where can we find you? What do you do?
Well, you can find me on my YouTube channel. I'm keeping it Vaughn Coleman on everything. It just kind of makes it easier. Instagram, YouTube, you name it. But then you could also find Phenomenova issue 2. You could find it on Fund My Comic. It will be coming to Indiegogo and Kickstarter as long as it funds on Fund My Comic first. Got a satisfied customer whose car was not destroyed at the Wrecking Show. So that's where you can find me. You can find it issue 2 on fundmycomic.com. You could obviously read Global Comics. Also, you could read the first 10 pages of issue 1 for free if you're not sold on it yet. And my website, you can order issue 1 right now on my website. So wherever you decide to go, you got options, baby. So that's where to go.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Awesome. Mr. Everly Music. What do you do? Where can we find you?
So I have music on most major streaming platforms under, you just type in Everly, you can find all my stuff, including my newest album, Lift, which has 19 tracks for different projects I've worked on, different indie projects. In addition, other things going on. Obviously I tag along with the Sea Boys over there in Iron Seas, and I haven't been doing a whole lot, but those boys have been working hard as hell lately. They have so much going on, and I'm glad to, and I'm fortunate to be a part of it. They got the Iron Seas Substack is the new thing they're pushing. So the Iron Seas Substack, they have a character over there named Ryan Sue. They got some flash fiction going on. He's in like this amalgamation of our 4 personalities coming together, and just the heart and the balls and the passion of those guys and their drive they come up with something and they're like, let's fucking do it. And they just go for it. And it's just, I love the energy that's going on over there, doing a lot of good stuff. And I'm, again, very, very fortunate to be a part of that. It's over on ironseas.substack.com. And of course, moving forward here with whatever we got going on with Iron Age Nights as well. So look forward to that. It will not be the same, obviously. And massive, endless thank yous, Royce, for
Good
everything
man,
you've
Royce.
done. You set out early on to build a community, and you did it, man. You did it.
Well,
And
like I said, I'm not letting the
I
community
know,
go.
I know.
That's still
And
my
this
community,
isn't a goodbye, but
Let's
it's
get this
a
right. That's still my community, motherfuckers.
Yeah, this is what he says as
For
he
now.
smothers you with the pillow and takes
Oh, I'm
his
not
little-
taking it from you.
I just need
You
to
have-
reevaluate, okay? I just need time to reevaluate.
I'm not taking it from you, but
I
obviously
know.
it's going to be a little bit different, and I just want to say thank you for all you've
Just
done.
hold still; it'll be okay.
Yeah, I know you set out to build a community, and you did, and
Yeah.
awesome things are growing from it, and it's I just endless thank yous for all you have done for all of us. It's been a great time, and it will continue to be a great time. And I'm sure in the future, maybe we'll get back to things as they are now. And I know there's a little time of growth in between, and that growth in between. It's tough, but it is what it is, and we wish you all the best. We'll be hanging out, of course, watching your videos and supporting you in all you do. And I want to take this time just to say thank you on behalf of everybody I can for everything, top to bottom. Thank you. Wish you all the best. And I believe I'm passing this off to Daniel.
Yep. Yeah, me again. I am Daniel P. Riley of Whimsyland Literary Coaching and Services, also known as the Iron Sage, which you will find the Iron Age news now every single day of the week, not counting the weekends. Monday through Friday, I will be shouting out your projects as long as you tell me to shout them out. If you don't submit a form giving me the info, I can't shout it out. I'll just be talking into space for 10 minutes. Those videos will continue every single day going forward for the year of 2025, and then we'll reevaluate. But most importantly, the man of the hour on this particular show, none of this would have happened if Richard had not invited me to join in on that one crazy episode 2 years ago. And Royce and I had not spent hours backstage just babbling at each other about shit. And him, helping me with the equipment and helping me understand how to be here in front of everybody. So I have to say thank you, Royce, for bringing me out of my shell and allowing me to grow organically into doing this in your absence.
I wish I could say that I earned the thanks, but like I said, I feel like I was dropping the plates. I feel like I said I was going to do something for everybody, and I was letting a lot of people down, and I need that time to reevaluate. And I don't, like I say, I'm not gone forever. I'm still doing the show. I still obviously have the Discord. I'm still connected with all you guys in the Discord. Now, if everybody left the Discord tonight, would I blame them? No, I wouldn't blame them. Mm-hmm. And if people hit me up and they're like, "Hey, dude, you should come on the show. We got an exciting thing going on." Hit me up. Let me know. Like I said, without having 3 streams a week, right now 4 streams a week, I was out there for a while. Like my time is more available. I can schedule around that a little easier. So
you'll always have an open invitation to IAK, bro.
No, dude. And like I said, I'll still be around. I just can't do the frequency that I was doing. That was a lot. But with all of that being said, like I said, my goal is to get my time management underway, get my priorities straight, and eventually Sunday Coffee will come back because I love Sunday Coffee doing that. Eventually I will be back with all you guys, but I need some time. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for tuning in to Iron Age Nights and tuning in and hanging out with me for the years that you guys have. Hopefully you still hang out. Like I said, I'm still doing videos. I'm probably waking up, working on videos tomorrow, dropping those.
And he's still gay. After all of that positivity, I had to throw that one in there.
You bastards.
Good. The chat is being very sentimental. There's no ill will. There's no jokes. There's nothing about GHEY. Nothing.
Oh yeah, it's totally not gay in a totally gay way.
Oh man. things in store. Oh, Royce was here. Yeah. I'm gonna mail you a white claw. Please
25
don't.
is going to be an
Like I said,
interesting time for all of us.
And yeah, like I said, it's gonna be interesting. I am going to hit it hard. Video creation is gonna be the big thing. Like the time that I'm not spending streaming right now is either gonna be spent with my wife and kids, or it's gonna be spent me getting better at video. Biggest thing, I suck at thumbnails. I really need to figure out thumbnails. Cause like I'm seeing it, like my titles, they're doing okay. My thumbnails, people don't like them. When people watch the videos, they stick around. They just don't want to click the thumbnail. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, cheers, everybody.
Good
night,
night everybody.
Good night. God bless.